I'm a nerd.
Nerds.
Nerds.
Nerds!
I'm not kissing a nerd.
What is a nerd?
Nerd!
We can talk about the
Holy
trailer to
crap, are we
Preacher.
nerdy?
We can talk about Preacher actually being the Amazon Preacher is actually sold out.
Oh yeah.
Arrow leaking online. They really are doing a Great American Hero remake.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of those like, why?
No.
Lightsabers to be banned at select theaters showing Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
I wasn't really going to talk
I
any
thought
of
it was
that,
all-
but we can.
I agree with that because
most theaters were
remember
saying that.
all three prequel showings. Like during every moment that people were actually impressed by something, they would all like, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
But see, that would, to me, well, let's just start. Welcome, Nerdibles, to episode 109. This week we are talking CBS's announcement of the new Star Trek TV show, sort of on TV, maybe. But last week's Supergirl premiere, The Flash Jumping the Shark, The Greatest American Hero gets a remake, reboot, comeback, something or other. It's going to have a show.
The true remake.
The true remake, yes. Halo 5 launches last week, and we'll see if there's any comic book news in the world. And maybe touch on a little bit of Kamikaze, because three of us did go to Kamikaze.
yeah.
So, yes, the biggest announcement that almost blew up the internet today was that CBS announced a new Star Trek television series coming January 2017.
Specifically for CBS All Access, which is
That was the kind of the hiccup in the announcement.
yeah. Everyone got really excited, but then it became that like, wait, CBS All Access?
Well, let's see.
Which means you got to pay for it.
Yeah, it's like $6 a month.
Yeah.
The pilot will be aired on CBS, though.
Yes.
But then every episode subsequently will be exclusively on CBS All Access and not available anywhere else by the sound of it.
Yes. So, and the announcement, and you made a great point when you, on Facebook today, when you said it sounded like it was the whole advert that came out for the Star Trek
Yeah.
sounded more like an advertisement for CBS All Access.
Right.
And I totally agree.
Yeah, it seemed like it wasn't a lot of news, but it's probably something to start with, or start that All Access with, which I actually don't even know what CBS All Access is.
It's basically their Hulu, but only for CBS shows.
Yes.
Right.
Think of it like the WWE has their
I don't want to think about the WWE.
they have their
As long as I don't
All
have to-
Access thing.
Oops, that's the wrong.
So, what do you think about the producers of it?
It's Alex Kurtzman who did the movies. I don't care for the remake movies.
Now, Alec Kurtzman, he wrote and produced the first Star Trek, or co-wrote and produced.
He co-wrote all three of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the first J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, no, he also did it with his former writing partner, Roberto Orsi.
Yes, Orsi was on Into the Darkness.
And yeah, he did 1 and 2, and then Orsi left, and Kurtzman still did number 3, and he's producing 3.
Right.
But by the sound of it, and from what I've always understood about the way that, because the Star Trek license, it's owned by CBS, but Paramount has the exclusive rights to do the films.
Correct.
But for the new universe, or new Trek, the NU Trek, that everybody sort of, you call it what you will, JJ Trek.
JJ Trek, that sounds good.
Bad Robot is the production house specifically able to do the J.J. Abrams versions of Star Trek.
Correct.
And since they're not involved, it's either CBS doing something completely new for television that's unrelated to the Prime Trek or the J.J. Trek, or they're just going to do Prime Trek but just start somewhere else completely different, and which would be fine.
Well, Kurtzman and Orsi moved their offices to the CBS lot a few months ago.
Right, but now
which started some
Orsi-
speculation
Yeah.
that there was going to be a new Trek series. And, of course, there's been rumors going around. They've
Right.
met with different actors from both the original and Next Gen series, about coming up with different ideas.
A lot of people have pitched shows. Seth MacFarlane pitched a series that was a continuation of the 60s show.
Right.
That he wanted to do like the 60s show with, kind of like what they do with the new
You would have
Voyages.
hated that, wouldn't you, Chris? McFarlane?
Because it would have been the same.
Well,
No,
I mean,
McFarlane
he
only
did-
knows how
he
to
did
make one show.
Cosmos.
That is true.
He wrote and produced Cosmos, so I can't.
No, he couldn't have. Because if you look,
He did.
No, if you look at everything he's produced for Fox, it's the same exact show.
Right, but that's very
To
different.
the point where it's broken
no-
down into 6 different categories and it just fits.
He
in
al-
every-
There's no fart jokes in
Yeah.
Cosmos.
But he also was the same guy who wrote Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab. And he also animated for those
That's not
shows
true.
too.
I'm going to say that's not true either.
You want it
Bravo,
not to
Dexter.
be true.
Johnny Bravo was
You
not.
are so
Michael
stupid.
Dorn pitched a show about Captain Worf, which would be really cool.
That would be a really
to
good one.
sort
No,
of-
no. That would be so incredibly awesome.
Yeah.
That like literally the universe would explode.
Right.
A lot of people have been pitching an anthology type
Yeah.
series.
One of the I
We
think
talked
one of
about
the
that years ago. But the
Yeah.
problem with that is it's so expensive.
it's expensive to do. I wouldn't mind seeing a Michael Dorn Worf series. It would take you right into that end of Star Trek Voyager or Star Trek Nemesis era. But then you can start fresh with a familiar character who has a lot of continuity in Star Trek, being on Next Gen and Deep Space Nine.
and he was a beloved character on both.
He's a very beloved character. So having him be captain,
Yeah, there's a reason they brought him to DS9. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a show that, while
They-
not like struggling, it could use the boost. And they said, here we go. We'll just bring a character that everybody knows and loves. And he's willing to do TV work and stuff like that. I mean, and plus, you
He's
said
also
it
doing
there,
a great voice in
you can use
Ninja Turtles.
You can use anyone as a cameo.
right?
You know,
right.
you can have Jonathan Frakes show up for an episode.
Yeah, you can
have.
do. Kate
Okay, now, I don't
Mulgrew.
remember the end of Nemesis.
Yes.
Does Data die?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Data dies, but
But
he had
Beta is-
he transferred his memories into the B4 drone.
Okay. So
Now-
BB-8 is Data.
Yes,
Okay, that's
BB-8 is
BB-8 is Data.
and then in the Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Orsi, like their version of events after Voyager is that Beta that B4 as Data is captain of the Enterprise. But it's non-canon because it's not on. Basically,
Right.
CBS and Gene Roddenberry have had that. Like, if it's on screen, it's canon. The only one that people didn't consider canon for a long time was the animated series.
It's kind of like what Lucas had said.
yeah. Lucas was always like, if it's on TV or on a movie, then it's canon.
Now, the very last thing they did have in there in the CBS announcement was that the new TV series is not related to the upcoming film Star
Right.
Trek Beyond, which is scheduled for distribution by Paramount in 2016.
Yeah, and which leads me to believe that they're going to do something completely separate from both versions of Star Trek.
Do you think it'll be set in that same
It's not bad.
world
Again, I could
in
be
the
wrong.
JJ universe?
If I could be wrong, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that since Bad Robot has the exclusivity to do the JJ versions of the movies, and they're not doing any television
As well as
production on it,
Paramount.
then I think that's just sort of off limits, and they want to keep it separate. So I'm either leaning towards another Prime Universe show or something that's just completely separate.
Because this is when we were talking about this earlier with someone at work. This is kind of the questions with it, and I said if they do, I don't think you can do that JJ verse because I don't think they would let a series use the Enterprise.
Right.
And if you're going to do a show that's going to be a launch show, a show that you're using to
Rekindle?
well, no, but I mean to promote this service and all this other stuff, you're not going to use an Enterprise.
No.
The only show that started without an Enterprise show on the air was Voyager, right?
Yeah, it was Deep Space.
Deep Space Nine.
No,
Well,
Deep Space Nine's-
Deep-
In
no,
the
that's what I'm saying.
pilot, they
the
had
pilot.
No,
yes.
no. What I'm saying is there was there was a show that had the Enterprise in it when Deep Space Nine started.
Yes.
When Voyager started, there was no show about the Enterprise. And
Right.
Next Gen had already been gone.
They did the handoff the same way that Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine
Yeah,
had
so-
the Enterprise, and then Voyager started on Deep Space Nine.
Correct.
right,
And then
there was the Enterprise, the original series.
Yes.
or through the original Enterprise.
and then they
I
linked
just
back.
can't, yeah,
with-
I can't see them doing a show without using the Enterprise, and I don't think that JJ verse or now really Kurtzman Orsi verse because JJ has left. I can't see them going. No, you can use the Enterprise. You're not going to use the movie cast. You're not going
Right.
to put the Enterprise before Kirk gets it, unless you can hire the guy who plays Pike. That would be fascinating to me if you said
Right.
it beforehand, but I don't think you're going to. And it's hard to do that sort of thing because we've seen this with like Marvel as we're watching something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then watching Cap 2 where you go, this doesn't even look the same.
Right.
It's so obvious that the money isn't there.
Well, do you think that this show will be about the crew of the Enterprise?
They have said it won't be linked to Star Trek Beyond, which I think is their way of saying it's not JJ Trek.
Well, no,
In not so many
in general,
words.
do you think we could be looking at either a television reboot of the series, or are we looking at
I think
another
that's a
next
huge
gen
mistake,
type
too.
type situation where there's a whole new crew of the Enterprise, and the Enterprise be the central point.
Well, I think Star Trek was really successful with 2 series that had nothing to do with the Enterprise at all, and that's not, and that goes with, without saying that, like, it's the most recognizable name from the series, but Deep Space Nine and Voyager both went on 7 years.
Yes, but they started at a time in which Next Gen was
Led the
on
way.
the air,
Yes.
and then had not been off the air for very long once Voyager started.
Right.
You still had that universe in existence. You're sitting
Yes.
here now
Yeah, there was,
saying
at a point in time there was
Well, Enterprise set
2
up that whole.
shows
I mean,
at the same
it's
time.
not
Next Gen
no,
set up that whole universe for
right,
them.
but you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. It's in the consciousness.
Yes,
Star Trek
right.
hasn't been on TV in 15 years.
Correct.
Or whatever. When did Voyager? When did Enterprise end? 2000.
About 2005.
Okay, so we're a decade. You're talking by the time this starts, 2016 at the earliest, probably
17.
17. You got 12 years between series.
Right.
You're not starting a series without either Enterprise or the Academy.
See, I think it'd be good to go back and do the Academy.
It's not good. I think that's the way they would do it because it's cheaper,
Right.
You
which I
started
think
a-
is part of the.
That's the big thing. 'Cause
My fear with
we
this
have
sort
to
of
keep in
thing-
mind is it's CBS All Access specifically is where this is going. This is not a big television production,
which is $5.99 a month.
which is $5.99 a month. And my big fear is that Star Trek won't do well on CBS All Access, and then it will just be sort of finger pointing. Well, nobody signed up for All
Correct.
Access, and that's speculation on my part. And but that's sort of my big thing is like.
Well, all of it's speculation.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but if you look at it, CBS is the way that they're.
Do they need
there's-
the if the question is do they need the Enterprise? No, I don't think so. I don't think you need the Enterprise or the crew of an Enterprise.
Right.
Right off.
Needs
the
a strong word.
The
But
way
I,
the
thi-
press
I don't
re-
think they would do it without it. My fear for something like this, because you're on there, is that it becomes a very green screen show.
Yes.
It becomes a show that is very room oriented, in which everything happens in a single room. You're not spending a lot of time in space. You're not sending space shots. You're not seeing.
You're talking like a
away
Deep Space
teams.
Nine.
Not even Deep Space Nine.
Deep
I'm
Space
talking
Nine
like
went a lot of places.
yeah. I'm talking like some sitcom show where there's 4 sets. That's
Right.
my fear. That's to me something like this. My fear would be that I would love a new series. I would love to go farther in the next gen
Timeline.
universe
Yeah.
timeline to get to something like Captain Worf or Data or whatever like that. I'd love to see where those characters are because again, you're now 15 years from the end of next gen. You're what was Nemesis 2002?
No, Nemesis was 2009.
No, the end of Next
2006
Gen was in 96.
or 7, I think, was Nemesis.
Yeah.
Because it came out. It came
I was
out
working
while
at
was in
Target.
high
Yeah,
school.
so it was like 2000.
94 is when Generations came out.
Right.
And,
I think
and-
Nemesis is 2000 or 2001.
All Good Things was the next year. So 95 is when the Next Gen stopped on television.
2002.
It was 2002. Yeah.
Right.
So you when you're that far away, I think it's cool. You can don't even put it in real time. You're
Yes.
over a decade later. You could imagine someone like Worf becoming a captain. You could imagine someone like Data being something completely different, but also a big part of Starfleet. And really, look, Jonathan Frakes is a very busy man. But if you're going to do this like this, if you say, we're just going to do 6 episodes at a time.
Right.
Right. Because that's the big thing is nobody knows what this is yet. We
Yeah.
don't know like who's the crew working. Are they going to get guys like Michael Westmore who did the special effects makeup and design work since the Next Generation? He worked all the way through Enterprise and even Nemesis.
Yeah.
The film. Who I mean, do you get him back? I mean, I get the feeling like is this going to be like let's get back as many of the old crew as it were together to do another Star Trek show? Because by the sound of it, Rick Berman is not part of it.
Here's the other side of this.
Who is actually going to be going to his first convention, or did he either went to his first convention in something like 20 years, or will be going to the next Star Trek Con in Vegas?
2016 is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
Right, which is why they're gearing up for this, which
We
is
know where Sebastian
really
is.
cool.
Right. So, thinking of it being something that's being produced within the 50th anniversary year, it could be something where you go back and, you redo the universe. Because here's the thing:
it's a tough.
there's no guarantee
Right.
Paramount's doing another movie after this.
Right. And there's no guarantee
In
of that,
the
but it's-
JJ
but-
verse.
But it also becomes one of those things like, but they already have sort of their remade Star Trek, and then to remake it a second time so close is the
Bingo.
tough. Is the
I
tough.
have the same thing.
I agree
if,
with
if
that.
If you're sitting there, they do it in comics all the time, where they reboot everything every few years. Now, especially, I don't see them doing that. It's going to be hard enough to come out and say, understand what you see on the movies has nothing to do with anything that's ever been on TV before. Well, I guess Enterprise would still count, basically. There's a fixed point in time, and then it shifts, and everything. Enterprise would be
canonical piece for the JJ Trek.
To then say, okay, now you have your JJ Trek is here. That point in time in which Nero shows up, when it doesn't happen, that's our Prime universe, and that's our. And then over here, we've decided to do, the Vulcans show up in 1800. The Vulcans show up in the middle of the Civil War, and there's black Vulcans, and everyone's really weird, and it's just, to try and do that versus putting something into the universe you already have, not using the movie universe. There's no reason not to. You have all of time.
Correct.
You have all the time that you can go back, you can go forward, you can go anywhere.
What's the guy
hell? You could do young Jean-Luc Picard if you really wanted to.
They could slingshot around the sun and put him whenever.
What's Cameron doing from? He was the captain in Enterprise B. He was Captain Harriman.
How about Captain Will Wheaton? No, we don't want a Captain Crusher.
No,
I don't think we'll.
No, because he's with the Traveler. He doesn't have to come back.
Well, that's how they could fix the whole thing.
The Adventures of Q. You could do whatever you want.
Or Q could come back and fix the whole thing.
John Delancey.
Is John Delancey still alive?
Yeah, he's been doing My Little Pony.
Yeah, he's got an awesome voice. I can imagine
how far he's
being
fallen.
really good at that.
The best Star Trek.
So, we can all pretty much say, with obviously speculation, it's most likely not going to be a show about the USS Enterprise.
I mean, as much as I think there's a lot of people that's where they first go, I don't think so. But it's that thing. It's like I don't think they. If you would save doing another show about the Enterprise for a big TV series, and this is not.
Well, it depends on how much they want to invest in this idea.
Right.
I mean, look.
Right.
When
that's very true.
If CBS is looking forward and going in 5-10 years, we're all going to be this. None of us are going to be on network TV. It's a naive statement because I don't think people really realize how many people are still attached to network TV. It's still a shock when you find the numbers of how many people don't have cable or satellite in this country.
Well, it's still,
you just imagine everybody does, and you forget. We live in California. Media is here in LA, in Chicago, and in New York, so it just assumes that everybody are people that are in LA, Chicago, and New York, and not people who are all over the place.
The other 200 million people.
Not everyone in the country have high speed.
Yeah, that don't have cable, that don't have a satellite service, that don't have high-speed internet. But if CBS is looking at this and going, we want this because we want to control everything. And this is the easiest way to put something on the air, quote unquote, that you can't skip the commercial. You own all of it. You don't have to pay a regional station, or the regional station doesn't have to pay you, or anything like that. You don't have to run regional commercials. Everything is you don't have to give up part of your airtime here in LA so that the local Mazda dealership is buying a primetime commercial.
Right.
You're sitting here saying, we're going to partner with Verizon, we're going to partner with Toyota, and we're going to partner with the NFL. We already have the NFL here. They're each going to pay us $3 million to be the only 3 commercials that are in an hour block of television that you have to see without skipping 3 times. If that's important to them, which it is, I could see them doing a big show for this type of service. In addition to the fact that you're telling people you have to pay for it anyway.
Right.
If you get enough people to subscribe for it, everything that you do is free.
Yes.
To yourself. You're like, all of our stuff is paid for. We don't have to even pay for it in advance and then wait for people to show up, to watch it, to then go and visit the advertisers that are on it. That marketing gets back to the advertisers that, hey, advertising on this new Star Trek show is really working, and then have other advertisers. You don't have to front any cash.
Right.
If you're sitting there saying, if this is going to cost us $1 million, and we have 1 million subscribers at $7 a piece, we have $7 million versus the $1 million we have to spend, we're already in the red. Or in the black, and we're fine, and we can just keep going.
Well, CBS All Access is already saying that they have 7,500 episodes of television that can be viewed through their subscription.
That's the other thing with the subscription service. The biggest thing that people are noticing now is that older content that is completely paid for, that you don't have to pay any new money for. You have to pay on the back end of residuals, but you know that's a cost that you already know. You're not sitting there with production costs. You're not sitting there with syndication fees or whatever you want to do.
Right.
You have all that. You have CBS has a huge library.
Well, see, and that's
just
what-
the idea that CBS will sit here with CBS All Access. If they own all of the shows, here you go.
Yeah.
Well,
We
see, I
can
was just
stream
talking-
the original series, the animated series, Next Gen, Voyager, Deep Space
Well,
Nine, and Enterprise all out on
Yeah.
this. In addition to a new series, you're
yeah.
going to launch this whole thing with with Star Trek.
Right.
I mean, that's
Well, see, I was
what
just
this
talking to
sounds like. Is
somebody today.
basically they're saying the people have noticed that we're taking all of these phone calls or we're meeting with people. We don't know what the hell we're doing yet, but we're going to make the announcement because we're kind of tired of all of you talking about it, and we haven't said anything.
Sure.
Because there's no information in it other than, yes, we're talking to people. We don't know what this is. We don't know who's involved. We don't know who's going to do it. We don't know when it's going to be on. But we know it's going to be on our streaming service, and we know it's going to have Star Trek in the title.
Yeah.
There's your press release.
Well, yeah, and I was talking to somebody today who's a major Star Trek fan. And he was like, "Well, if NBC did something like this and they had you had their service and they had every one of the Seinfeld episodes."
NBC already has it. It's called Hulu.
Yeah,
no,
it's
but
Hulu.
what he was saying was that if they were giving like NBC All Access and he's like put as Seinfeld, every episode, he'd say it'd be worth it to me. But
Isn't
if
every episode on Hulu?
Yeah, every episode is on.
I think
Hulu.
so, yeah.
Which is weird.
Hulu
because-
is an NBC service that happens to have shows
Yeah.
from other places
You have to-
because
correct,
they're
yeah.
produced
You
by
have to remember-
NBC
yeah.
partners.
Hulu is owned by Comcast, Fox, ABC, and NBC. Although,
But the majority of it is NBC. Because I remember when it first
the
started,
big parts, I would say it teeters between Fox and
yeah, Fox has a
NBC.
lot on it too. But
But
Fox has that Fox LA or whatever, the
Right.
Fox Now or whatever it is. The Hulu thing, I know it was big on NBC because that was the only place that SNL was.
Right.
The SNL clips, they were very aggressive about making sure that everything related to Saturday Night Live was pulled off of YouTube because all of the clips were supposedly exclusive to Hulu.
Right.
Right.
So
Well,
NBC
Community-
to me was always a big thing.
Community's last season was on Hulu only.
And it's also tough, especially when you talk about something like Seinfeld, because Seinfeld is technically owned by Sony,
Right.
and they put up episodes on Crackle, but nobody uses Crackle. And then they started shopping the show
Crackle's
around.
free.
But wasn't Next Gen
That's the amazing
Paramount?
thing is
Yes.
'Cause-
It used
Paramount
to be,
was the distribution.
They were the distribution.
They were the distribution. And
No,
used-
they were the production house. Fox was the distributor because it was Fox Network.
But
No,
CBS,
it was
but
UPN.
CBS now owns everything.
It was UPN. It wasn't Fox.
No, the Next Gen was Fox. UPN didn't come out until
Next Gen
later,
was never on Fox out here. It was always on KCOP 13.
so we always had it Fox.
No. Well, that's your Fox channel is buying content.
Right.
That's Fox before it was Fox.
But then it was the
yeah,
production
Fox
was
out here used to have. They only had 2 hours.
Right.
They were between 8 and that's why the news out here was always on at 10 for Fox, because Fox as a network only bought local airtime between 8 and 10, and then at 10 o'clock it went back to whatever your local.
then it was
channel
Paramount who was the distribution and the production.
Everything that was in Next
'Cause
Gen that
remember-
I saw was Paramount, because UPN started as the United Paramount Network,
Right.
and it started with the big deal was that in markets that had Next Gen syndicated to places like it could have been here on KTLA, it could have been here on KCAL on Channel 9. These are local channels that are now network channels, but even then they have to buy content for their
Right.
entire day.
Well, if you remember,
That's why Channel 5 has syndicated shows from CBS. They have syndicated shows from NBC. They have syndicated shows from Fox. From TNT.
what's his name that we interviewed from the Star Trek or Starfleet Restoration Society? He bought. Remember, he got the Bridge of the Enterprise from Paramount
Yeah.
because
It was
they
filmed on
shot
the
it
Paramount
on the
lot,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if those would be
CBS owns the exclusive. But I just know because when CBS finally fully acquired Star Trek, it was completely under all television. Star Trek is owned by CBS.
okay.
Because you'll see that with this. There are shows that
Because
are
if they're showing all
there's shows
of the,
that are produced by NBC
right.
that are
No,
actually
yeah,
on
yeah.
other networks. It's the same thing here. Paramount is producing something that
Well, it's like
CBS
there's
owns
stuff
the
that's
rights.
on Warner Brothers lot that's made for
but
NBC or
CBS
CBS.
owns the rights to Star Trek. Paramount just produces the
Right.
films, And with the JJ stuff, it's produced exclusively by Bad Robot and then distributed by Paramount.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing in that sense.
Basically,
Bad
CBS
Robot is-
allowed
Because
Fox and KCOP and UPN to have it on their air because CBS didn't have any place for it.
to me, if the CBS All Access were to be showing all of the Star Trek, the original, next gen,
it's all
all
on
of it.
there. It's all there. It's all on Hulu and it's all on Netflix.
But I'm saying if it's
Yeah,
all
they'll
on
pull
there,
it all from that though.
right? If it's all on this CBS All Access with this new show, to me now the pot's been sweetened. Now I'm more interested in it.
Well, that's what all of them do. This. I mean, why do you think? As soon as you had studios like Sony and Universal, when they were talking about their own streaming services, they pulled everything off of Netflix. As soon as those deals are up, they're like, no. But Netflix is doing original content because it's looking at the writing on the wall and saying we're not going to have anything in 5 years.
Right.
Everybody's going to have their own streaming service.
Right.
And Sony's going to have its own streaming service, and you're not going to be able to get any of the James Bond films on Netflix anymore. They're going to be on Sonyverse or Sony Flix or whatever. Everyone's got these little streaming services, and they're going to keep pulling content. Star Trek can be on Netflix and Hulu and Fox or whatever now, but I guarantee you in 2017 when this starts, all of that's gone. They'll buy out the ends of their contracts if their contracts are still going, and they'll keep it all.
Do you think that this could? I mean, obviously, this is not going to be a make or break point for this type of service, but how much of an influence?
There's no breaking this type of service anymore.
How much of an influence do you think this type, a show like Star Trek with such a devoted fan base, how much do you think it will make an impact to such a? You're talking about a very specific, streaming service for this. It's not like
I don't think the streaming service is the big problem so much as I think the streaming service is a problem in that it's CBS's streaming service. It's not a major streaming service.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's also. The thing is, I think I've always said that the more separated, the more divided the streaming services become, the more that pirates will just go back to stealing shows.
Do you think-
Because the fact is that they're all in a better place if you can access, because you can access Star Trek on not only on CBS right now paid, but on Netflix, on Amazon, and on Hulu. You can just get it.
right.
The moment they pull something like that, the moment that they start to divide themselves, it's just going to be easier to steal the shows. Because, I already have this streaming service and this streaming. But the big thing is TV audiences have changed. And TV audiences changed enough where a show like Enterprise got really good in its third season, just like all the other Star Trek shows, but it was too late.
Right.
They were basically told you got one more season and you're out anyways. There's nothing you can do.
Well, look at. I mean, even when you look at the Nielsen ratings,
if this show isn't good in the first or second seasons, it's going to just be another Enterprise. Even though I really liked Enterprise, but I mean good in a general sense.
to me,
Because you can attract devoted fans all you want, but you still need the wider audience. You're not. It's not like CW, which has the advantage of being a really small network owned by
Right.
Warner Brothers, and can have shows that thrive on 2 or 3 million viewers and be considered successful for them. And that's
Because it's all demographic.
yeah,
too.
yeah. It's not a knock against them. Of course, a show like The Flash is incredibly popular, but when you look at the numbers, it's like 2.6 million people watching,
Right.
Which isn't a lot, but it's good for CW.
but when you look at something
But then
like
you look at
Walking Dead,
right,
which is,
or when you look at something like even its next competitor, something like Gotham, which is still pulling in 6-7 million viewers, there is a huge gap in who watches your show. So I think you have to. We don't know what CBS's threshold is for what they will consider successful on their streaming, because it's not like
But-
Netflix. Netflix has the largest subscriber base, and then number 2 is something like Amazon Prime.
right.
And that's the thing, is like when people watch Daredevil and it's something on the order of like 10 million people in the first day, and then just to have the numbers grow exponentially because people watch shows at different rates.
Well, when you're talking like something that is channel specific, CBS is the CBS All Access is channel specific. It's whatever CBS is going to air or
Right.
has aired. It's not like Hulu or
right, 'cause
Amazon or something
CBS
where
is
they're
the-
pulling
is the
different.
big outsider too,
Right.
Because all the other networks were very willing to play nice on a service like Hulu, and were willing to make contracts and make the deal. And CBS was really the only holdout, and then said no, thank you, and then walked away. That's their prerogative. But it'll be interesting to see, because Hulu really only doesn't have CBS shows, especially like their big primetime stuff.
Well, speaking of
But
CBS,
speaking of ratings, speaking of demographics,
I was just going to go to this.
yes, last Monday was the premiere of Supergirl, and Supergirl has the best premiere of any new series this fall.
Right.
It beat out Blind Spot.
Yeah,
Blind
primetime
Spot
TV.
was the
Was
one.
it had
And that's
almost
the-
13 million
Yeah,
views.
that's
18 to
that-
49.
Yeah, that's the
And then-
asterisk we need to make though. Primetime. Because shows like Walking Dead. And
No. In
Supergirl-
terms of
No,
new
no, no,
shows,
brand new show.
brand
Okay.
new shows. First premiere episodes of the entire series for this season.
Okay.
Blind Spot was number 1 going in, and then Supergirl beats it with 13 million. And then the biggest thing is that it's demographic.
Right.
Well, it's
Right.
interesting. That's one of the shows that I know.
By
a
the
lot
way,
of
folks,
people...
that's Ethan's voice.
Yeah, no, Ethan hasn't been on all night.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know about Star Trek so
Yeah.
much. So if you
But-
guys
and
are
that's
going to
like
spend half
compared
an
to
hour
the
on it,
juggernaut of what like Walking Dead
Yeah.
premiered with 18 million people
The-
on
the-
AMC
those
but
numbers
that's
this last
different.
season.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
whole different.
that thing is
yeah.
that's those outliers where you throw out the high and you throw out the low.
Right.
Throw out that. I mean that number is insane, and that's a
Right.
whole different thing to talk about those type
Right.
of numbers. But in terms of and it's different here because you have a more traditional type of this.
Yeah,
these networks still care about
it's
these
basic-
very hard.
Here's the
numbers.
question, though.
basic
What's
primetime
tonight's
television.
numbers going to be
Yeah,
like?
that's
with
compared
not a
to-
lead in from The Big Bang Theory.
And compared to Gotham, which is airing tonight as well, like because it's not.
They're airing same time
Yeah,
now.
it's not a premiere episode. It's just the competing show.
Yep. That's going to be where the demographic to see where
Yeah,
how
but
much they can hold on
here's
to their
the
viewership.
big thing with the demographic is that for a show that is a superhero show, it's split almost evenly
between men and
between
women.
men and women. And it's huge in that key, that 18 to 49 demographic, the people in this country who apparently spend all the money.
Which is funny because that demographic has it used to be
So large.
18 to 35.
It used to be 18 to 35,
Yeah,
but
then
recently
You change it because when they narrowed it to 18 to 35, they realized, well, we're losing 14 years of people
Yeah.
that spend just the same amount of money.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. CBS can sit there and go, well, for their other shows that skew much older, you're still looking like a lot of the people don't spend money anymore. They're
Correct.
not buying new cars every 2 years. They're not buying a cell phone every 6 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Supergirl, but that's that was a surprise to me to hit that high.
I'm not.
I'm
though,
not surprised.
because everybody that I knew, myself included, was excited to see this pilot. Just
here's
to see
here's a good thing.
how they do
CBS
I'll tell you why I was surprised. The pilot leaked against to a lot of that key demographic, that push,
Yes.
that buzz people. Those are the guys. Sebastian had already seen it,
Yeah. And then
and it's a surprise to me also because the general reaction of people I had was kind of a shrug of the shoulders. There weren't a lot of people. I'll take that back. There weren't a lot of people that I knew personally who were super excited for it. As I got online, I saw more and more people, especially women, who were excited in a very anxious way of going, I need this show to be good. I need this show to be I need a really good I want a superhero show, and I don't want it to be about a dude who has perfect abs who tries to kill people or runs really fast.
she's
They
an
need a
average
really
looking
good-
girl, yeah.
No, I wouldn't say
Well,
she's
she's
average
above
looking,
average.
but what I'm saying is we needed a show about a woman.
Right.
Right. And I can't I can speak for just the internet reaction I've personally seen is that it was pretty lukewarm, and then reading the reviews online were very much like, again, like Chris was saying, it's like a lot of people were like, this was not that bad.
A
not
lot of
that
people
good.
are willing to give it a chance to progress.
Yes,
And it's not
yeah.
like, oh, we've just watched the pilot and it was okay,
I
and
think-
so I'm just kind of done.
Well,
No,
here's
I think
what-
looking at that, if they could rewrite most of those headlines, was well, it could have been worse.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
to me was the general sense of a professional critique was well, it could have been a lot worse, mixed in with a few. I can't tell you exactly why, but I know I really love this.
Over the summer, CBS did a premiere with a whole house full of little girls, and they did it with a whole theater full of little girls and moms, and they kept airing that montage of this, during the View, things like that, on all kinds of things where you would have a little girl or a mom or both watching television.
Yeah, and that's just smart marketing too.
Very smart marketing, because even when I saw it, I was like, that was such a touching sentiment to try to bring in that audience. Granted, it was done for a purely marketing
Right.
but it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
And even my wife and
Well,
daughter sat
we've
down and watched
turned-
this the other
We've
night.
turned marketing into a dirty word, but if you're sitting there going, we have to make a show that is really interesting to, empowering for, and positive for young women and little girls because of marketing, that's still a good thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen what DC's done at having a show with female superhero leads, as a cartoon.
Yeah.
A group of.
That
Again,
would be
we
a
look at it,
great
and you
weekly show,
look at
too.
it, and you cynically say, "Well, they're just doing that for marketing." Duh! Everything is
Everything
marketing.
is marketing.
Sure.
Star Wars, congratulations, marketing. Why are they doing a new show? Why are they doing a new movie, and it looks a little bit darker? Because the marketing says that your fan base is a lot older now. Your fan base that really spends money to go to the movies is a lot older. You need something darker. If you're going to put it on TV, aim it more towards kids. Kids
Yeah.
watch TV, adults go to the
Watch
movies.
movies, yeah.
Boom. Here, if you're sitting here saying it's marketing, yes, they're looking at the culture and saying, if we do, let's see, if we do a show about Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, it's going to be a lot like Flash and Arrow.
Right.
If we do a show about, Bizarro, it's going to look like Gotham. We're going to make it really dark. What is nobody doing? Female lead. Boom.
Yeah.
After the controversy over the summer with Black Widow and the Avengers,
Not enough
people
women.
are
yeah.
starved for this
Yep.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you put it out there, and it does huge, and it doesn't need to do huge. That's the other
Here's
thing.
the thing
If
I
it
thought-
continues with that, if you're sitting there and saying that you're 50 to 60% of your audience is women who are underserved in any other category in terms of superheroes, you have an audience that's probably not going to go away.
Correct.
And you sell that as, like, look, you want to advertise to women? You want to advertise to younger girls? You want to show up right here. Because look how our numbers overall are declining, but our numbers in the female demographic are steady.
See, I thought the show did unfortunately, seeing the extended trailer last year or last May or whatever, it felt like when I watched it, I felt like I watched the entire episode. Nothing really
And
new.
I actually did watch the
Right.
entire episode.
Nothing really new seemed to come out of what I watched.
No.
What I did see and what I did notice
No, they gave
was
away everything.
Yes. I wish they would have gone into a little bit more. I don't necessarily call it pandering to the girls, but into some of the classic tropes that you have in a female show or female movie. Like, I told Chris this. If they would have gone into her costume, her developing her costume a little bit more. And given a little bit more of a longer montage with her coming up with and things like that.
gotta
To
do-
me, that would have been a little bit more
You
interesting.
got to
and
do the Lois and Clark, where it's Clark and Martha making like 50 different costumes until they get to the right one.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to happen really
they kind
too
of do
fast.
that, but they wanted to pass it over a short period of time.
Yeah.
Kind of progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I actually disagree with you because I think when you start to do that longer, when you have
think it's more pandering?
it's total pandering. What was the first thing I said after the pilot or after that extended trailer? That was very heavy on Callista Flockhart's character,
Right.
And Melissa Benoist as Supergirl as Kara, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she calls it. That whole thing is about, oh, my job is terrible.
It was
my boss is a bitch.
Devil Wears Prada.
Screw Devil Wears Prada. It was everything. It was, my boss is a bitch. We're cat fighting. It's, oh, look, that guy's a hunk. Oh, I'm unlucky in love. Oh, my family's, I got to go shopping. I mean, that whole 10 minutes when we walked out of it and we got to the end of it, I said, God, I hope that's not the show. Because that 10 minutes to me was pure pandering. This goes beyond marketing. This is check off the boxes and make sure this looks exactly like everything else. That
every
would be
romantic comedy,
everything that we would market towards women and towards girls. That's exactly what it would be.
Oh yeah, I still have problem. I mean, and like,
And it wasn't as when I saw the actual episode, it wasn't as bad.
No.
I cannot stand Cat Grant as a character at all because it's so over the top. It's so cartoony next to the tone for the rest of the show. It's a lighthearted show to start with. It's very much in tone like Flash.
Yes.
But
Which Flash works.
Yeah, no, I love Flash. But to have that character be such a pure archetype, such a one note, one
mustache twirler.
Yeah, and we'll see where
That's
it goes.
exactly what she is. Whoa.
Yeah, she's the villain.
Yes.
Because there's really no villain in that episode. You have a guy who fights her, but he's not a
well,
villain.
you have the emergence of the
Yeah,
the
well, that's-
overall nemesis at towards the
the
end.
villainy of it is terrible
I
because
I roll with it. It's the JJ Star Trek issue all over again. Nero goes back in time, and Kirk is an infant, but
Right.
he waits 30 years to attack the Federation and Vulcan when he could easily decimate them since he's from the 24th
But-
century.
if they had the extended cut, They actually explain that away.
Yes, yeah, they do. Which but I still also go like, how'd you get captured by Klingons? You have 24th century technology in a ship that's half.
That's how
more-
badass the Klingons are.
But for me, it's that sitting. It's like, why'd you wait 12 years? Superman
yes,
would probably
as
not be a
it's-
superhero.
as that
She
Star
would
Trek movie is
be a little
presented,
kid.
that is a huge hole.
Yes. But it's that for me, that's that sort
And
of
that's here. I
issue.
mean, it may be something where there's just the one of them or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll be
why did-
completely honest. I forgot most of the end of that episode, so I can't even I could have sworn there was something about the fact that they hadn't been there that long, that they had just shown up or something like that,
No, I
or they
think-
showed up after Clark.
They
already
were
had his
waiting until
powers.
she developed or
Yeah,
something.
they had been waiting for 12 years to make their first strike, and I go like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Clark wouldn't have been a superhero. She would be a baby.
And it was-
now you got two superhumans waiting for you.
But wasn't it something along the lines of that Clark was too powerful, and it's all because of the relationship between Kara and her aunt, who is now the orchestrating evil in the show.
Right, the other mustache twirl.
Right.
But
Now, here's the thing.
But my other, I mean, I've got a lot of just the show is just not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna outright say.
Are you going to continue on with it?
No, I saw what I needed to see. I'm okay. I'm satisfied with what I saw, and
Right.
it's a show that if I hear better things by the end of the season, I'll check it out. What I'm not gonna stress too hard on missing
She
it.
doesn't have a goatee.
There you go.
Now, do you think that because we have Jessica Jones coming out real soon,
Oh, I mean, well, there's not going to be more people are going to just watch
Which is-
Jessica Jones because it's on Netflix,
right? But
and because they
but
don't
with
have
another
Loki.
female lead superhero, do you think that the female audience? Because let's put it this way: females are not like they were 5-10 years ago, watching movies where you had 27 dresses, things like that.
Careful now.
No, I'm being sincere. Is that they have grown into an audience that they expect more out of their female leads than
Hold on.
look,
Hold
there's
on. Let me stop you. It's not that that's what only they were looking for. That's all they were being offered.
That's true. Okay, I'll give you that.
Because it's the any sort of minority problem where they said, people get surprised when a intelligent, serious, thought-provoking African American film comes out, and everyone goes, "Well, this isn't what they. When did we know? Oh, they must want this right now.
Right.
They've never wanted this before." And everyone keeps coming out and saying, "No, we've wanted this for 3 decades. You won't give it to us. You keep giving us blaxploitation films. You keep giving us terrible comedies. You keep giving us Tyler Perry. We want something different."
No, Tyler Perry gave Tyler Perry to the world.
Tyler Perry owns Atlanta. So in this case, yes, if you're saying women are enjoying 27 dresses and anything that Jennifer Lopez does, that's all they're being offered.
Right.
When you have smart, intelligent films that deal with issues facing women in this country, facing women in the world, you see women go to these types of films. We're looking now at films through the end of the year, this Oscar bait stuff. Look how many of them are about women.
Yes.
And women's issues that have absolutely nothing to do with, finding a husband and figuring out how to raise kids.
But you think the women now will see through the pander and not, Calista Flockhart's character, which is the funniest thing about Calista Flockhart about her character is that it's the complete opposite of what she did as Ally McBeal.
Right. But I mean,
And Ally
and I'm
McBeal
sure
was
that's
an
why-
intelligent, strong female character.
and I'm sure that's why they asked. I'm
That's
sure,
a different show.
It's a
but-
very different show, but I also I figure that's probably why they asked.
No, I mean
her if
it's
she
a
wanted
it's
to
a different
audition.
show to talk about that because there are a lot of people that have said, again, it's fake feminism. It's empowerment through pure sexual identity, and there's nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. I can see that.
I mean, she was smart, but never really watching Ally McBeal, but getting that where it starts, and was like, this is a show about women, and it's feminist, and it's all of this. It's the same crap. She's catty. She wears skirts that are too short. She gets away with everything because she's sexy. She's dumb. That sort of thing. And you're just looking at it going, it's not what you think it is. So but that's a whole different. Like
I mean,
said, it's a different
and
show.
we should say, as we're recording this, the show is airing right now.
And we're not watching.
I've got it on DVR, so I am going to watch it. But I'm curious to see what the audience is going to
Where the
carry
audience will
over.
go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to compare Supergirl to Jessica Jones because Jessica Jones is on Netflix and they can do what they want.
And it's
Right.
also a completely different. I mean,
It's a
Jessica
different
Jones as
characterization.
hell,
It's a
no,
different
source
kind
material.
of superhero.
You have Supergirl as source material for years and years, being a kid's book. Jessica Jones starts as a Marvel Max hard R sex, drugs, and rock and roll, death, gore book. So the start is very different.
Yeah.
She's a totally different character.
Sure.
Having a superpower is not really a part of her character in the book at all.
Right.
It's the fact that she used to have superpowers and she no longer uses them. And because of, I mean, geez, I mean, there's so much about it that has to do also with men because of what the Purple Man puts her through.
I'm really
We're gonna
curious
get a
to see.
villain called
I want to get. We need to get a female opinion on once that show comes out. Somebody that's watched both of them to get their opinion on the two different types.
We used to have a female once in a while, but no one's talked to her in a while.
Well, Shauna's on usually, but what are you talking about, Emily?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if she counts though, because she doesn't really watch these shows.
No, I would like to say though, being a fan of the comic,
Being a female yourself,
yes, being a female myself, no, being a fan of the comic, I think that the title character is portrayed well by the actress. I don't know if it's Melissa Benoist, or Ben Benoist.
Benoist.
I don't know how to.
She did a good job.
She does a great job of bringing the character quirks that Supergirl, or even her alter
Ego.
alter ego.
I guess
but
my other big problem is like as much of as how well she played the part. I think for me, like I think for me, like the big divide. It's not just Supergirl; it's a lot of television shows. But I also go, it's like they're trying to sell us on that she's 24. I think was what they gave her age as 24 or 26. But I also go, it's like they're still I'm more interested in sort of the process of what the show started out as when it was first pitched to how it ended up, because it still feels like, especially the writing in that first episode, like I feel like this is just an adult playing a 16-year-old kid.
See,
I would rather actually rather get the Smallville do-over and actually have a 16-year-old kid be an intern at Cat Grant's magazine.
Well, is it something
I've heard other people say that exact same thing.
And
just
but
recently.
it's also for me. It's like,
maybe it's satire on the idea of this country's arrested development as more and more adults are acting like children.
Right.
that's entirely possible. But I mean,
Probably not, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
there's
that
something
was
to say
my
to
big
that.
issue. Is like I really do wish this was
As we host a podcast about toys and comics
Right.
and
No, but
kid movies.
but it's funny you say that because I've heard at least 2 or 3 other people say that exact same thing. That if she was, she felt like she was a 16-year-old in a 24-year-old body, that it would have been more interesting for her to actually been in high school as an intern there.
Yeah, and there's a lot I could go on. Like I'm also like the James Olsen, who he's not really Jimmy Olsen. Her friend working at the magazine is Jimmy Olsen.
If you want to be geek offended, that's the one for me. Like again, I'm not saying this in total seriousness, but still watching, going, wait,
you're too cool to be Jimmy Olsen.
yeah, you took the redhead freckled kid whose only cool thing is that he had a watch to go, Superman, come save the city. But he's now all of a sudden some strapping 6'5" African American stud who is amazing at his job, which Jimmy was always very good at his job.
He's a
but
Pulitzer
is so
Prize-winning,
amazing at his
photographer.
job that he's the design consultant or he's the designer, the photo designer for the entire magazine. Or whatever the hell it is, the magazine, newspaper, what have you. Just when that shows up, it's like, I'm James Olsen. Like, shut up.
But at the end of Smallville,
I didn't.
Jimmy Olsen dies, and there is a second Jimmy Olsen, a James Olsen.
His brother.
Right, but wasn't he African American?
No,
I could have swore he was.
no, the guy who plays Iceman played him in Smallville.
No, he died.
His brother then takes over the role.
I thought at the very end of it, Jimmy Olsen dies, and there was
actual Jimmy Olsen.
and there was a
shows
younger
up.
kid that was African American that had the same name.
No, there were 2 James Olsens on the show. Like one, they did like the middle name was James.
But this was at the very, very, very end.
Yes, the regular James Olsen is on the show. He's played by Sean Ashmore.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the guy they get him to play on Smallville. That's who Jimmy Olsen is in the show.
I could have sworn. Okay.
Now another interesting fact is,
But it's also for me watching Supergirl. It's like her friend that she jumps off the roof and scares the poop
Yes.
out of. It's like that's really Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally.
At what point did some executive go, he's not cool enough to be James Olsen. Let's get 6 foot tall, handsome
well, yeah,
guy.
he's the one that's going to end up turning evil. He's the toy maker. You saw all the little gadgets
Yeah,
and what he had.
he's the guy.
He's
who's
going to be the.
He's the friend zoned.
Yeah, he's
going to
get
turns evil.
frustrated after a while and turn on her.
I'm Jimmy
But-
Friendzone.
But here's the interesting thing: is in the entire episode, every time they made mention to Superman, they never said Superman. They
No.
call him, the guy in blue, and every time you see him, he's always
can't say that name. You got to pay Jonathan Peters.
They make him seem like God essentially because you don't address him by his name. Whenever they showed him on screen, he was always backlit very brightly. So he's
Yahweh.
When
so
you
it's
write
all
his
dark.
name, you have to take out the
you
middle.
can't see who he is. You can't see who the actor is that's playing him.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously it's intentional because
Right, they
you-
can't.
Well,
They either can't say the name Superman because of whatever deals they have for the films. But I also go, and because of that, being hand tied in that way, I also get the feeling it's like you just like. For me, as a lifelong Superman fan, it's like that's just a total mischaracterization. I'll shut this off right now, but I'll give this a chance for the episode.
Well, at some point, the
Because I
way
wanna
Arrow and Flash are going, at some point they've got to do the same thing with Batman.
No, they
No.
won't.
You don't think so?
Batman's
they
not in
won't.
that universe.
No, I mean they couldn't do it when they were doing the Chris Nolan Batman films when they wanted him on Smallville, and they had an entire season built around a character called Adam Knight.
No, I just mean
And
that they'll refer to him as some kind,
Right.
as a
They may do
mysterious
something-
like.
They did the-
There'll never be a Batman in
There'll
that
never be a
Arrow Flash
Batman.
universe because they can't. I think even so far as to say you have another show in which Batman / Bruce Wayne is in it.
Right.
There's
You
no
can't say
way
it.
that those guys are going to say, "Oh yeah, you can use the name,"
Right.
or you can use the likeness. If they sat there and said, "Oh, there's a guy dressed as a rodent in this city that starts with a G," Fox and those studios are just going to say, "Nope."
Yeah, but in Gotham, in the very first season, the first couple episodes, they showed a Queen Consolidated Q in the cityscape. Which they actually did, but it was people actually got the idea that they were going to.
But it's the thing is like there's a lot of wishful thinking, and it's also like no, they're not going to do it because
No,
there's the contracts are everywhere, but I also go like the more and more I joke about all the DC shows becoming police procedurals, the more and more I like Supergirl is just a police procedural because she's working for the government catching the villain of the week.
Yeah.
And I just laugh, and then I go, oh boy, we got Preacher coming out.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Preacher's not DC though. I mean, it's Vertigo.
No, it's Vertigo.
It's not even owned by DC.
I wonder-
It's owned by
I wonder-
Vertigo.
Yeah, but iZombie is Vertigo, and it's
And that's also a police.
Yeah,
procedural.
Yeah.
Vertigo's both of them are new because the creator iZombie's a police procedural as a book anyway.
yes.
Preacher isn't.
And
Do we want to talk about Preacher? We want to talk about the 5-minute preview
Yeah, that was
for it?
It was pretty cool.
pretty cool.
See,
I'm not on the hype train yet, but
I'm not.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Who's read Preacher besides me?
I've read it.
That's just Sebastian. You read the
Well,
whole
no,
thing.
I read an
Because
excerpt.
as I'm watching, I'm going, okay, they kind of got the tone right, but there's no, and who knows what's in the show and what
Right,
isn't.
they haven't shown us.
There's nothing of the elements of the show, which is completely based on supernatural,
Right.
religious supernaturality. Of he receives the spawn of a demon and an angel that gives him the power to control people just by saying something, and wakens his consciousness to the point where he realizes God, as we know God to be, has left his throne because it's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm watching just going, okay, so it's just about the fact that
When does that show up?
Yeah, I was like, it's just a dude with a collar who kills people or beats people up. Which
Yeah, we know
reading
of.
Preacher, that's what I mean. Reading it is like, that's not who Jesse Custer was.
Right.
He
I'm
never
getting the
started out
feeling-
as that.
yeah.
He was an actual preacher. And he's he's someone who's kind of lost or what have you, but the spawn shows up, it destroys his church and it kills everybody in it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of lost and go, okay, what the hell do I do now? And he goes on this quest to go find God and tell him in the voice that has it and command God to go back and take over heaven again.
Right.
And through all of this, he meets a vampire, his ex-girlfriend, in which, like I said, there is a comic, there is an issue where they just have sex every
Right.
panel. That's going to be an interesting one to shoot if they decide to do it. I mean, people are saying it's there.
I'd like
be
it
interesting
there.
to
It
see.
just looked like they didn't show any supernatural elements. It was just like
Just a bad dude.
Yeah, generic ex gangster question mark. Now is small town preacher hiding from blank authority.
Well, the big one was go beat up my daddy, basically.
Yeah, but it's
which
like-
to me there could be some supernatural. When I first saw that, I thought, well, maybe the dad's got some demon or something in him or something like that.
Yeah, but they hit it. It's either it's not there or they hit it really well. Which
Right.
I'm still
what he's
intrigued.
running from is in the book is his family.
Right.
The Custer clan are these terrible, terrible people. That's one of the first books that made me sick to my stomach. They show the flashback of him fighting his brothers. Oh, terrible things they do to him. So
So I'm not on the hype.
it looks
train.
interesting, but for someone like me, that like people that I knew, people at work who were really excited about it, I was like, "Oh, did you read the book?" No, I have no idea what it's about. I'm like, okay, that's then it'd be different because to you, it's like really fascinating. It looks really interesting. For me, I'm looking at it going,
This doesn't look.
yeah,
like
I don't
Preacher.
know. I mean, I guess, and I'm all for one taking different interpretations or what have you. If it's just he was a guy who was a bad guy who became a preacher,
Right.
and now he's a bad guy again. You're like, what's the point of this? Because the whole book is questions of it's questions of faith, it's questions of religion, it's questions of zealotry, it's questions of dogma, it's questions of rhetoric. When you really get into it, and all the stuff around it. I mean, the Saint of Killers is basically this idea of, it's someone who's imbued with this power, and he is a religious figure who murders everybody that he comes in contact with, and he cannot be killed.
Right.
Enos uses him as this force of pure destruction who is created by something that isn't supposed to destroy things.
Knowing what they let Breaking Bad get away with, and knowing how they stay true to the Walking Dead comic, do you feel that it's in good hands?
I don't know. I mean, I said from the start.
Well, granted,
Walking
Chris
Dead
doesn't know Walking Dead past like volume 14.
But no, but I'm not. Staying true is
comic.
different. Look, in tone, it's pretty much the same thing. But there is stuff that they've done in the comic, even as far as I've gotten to, which you're not putting on AMC. You're not going to put. They're not putting explicit full frontal nudity on AMC.
True.
That's all over Preacher. As gory as that book is, as gory as Walking Dead is, it's gory towards stuff that's already dead. You haven't had a scene where you've had, a person who is alive being skinned alive by other people.
No, you've had them getting.
Wait till you read
ripped.
Preacher.
Right.
Preacher is gory as F, and they're not going to be able to put that on that type of television. It's not HBO.
I was going to say it's not
Showtime.
HBO. It's not Stars. Yeah, you're not going to get.
There
away
are
with that.
episodes of Preacher which they're handled deftly, so they're not exactly that, but they're porn.
Right.
But again, it's all in what Garth Ennis was trying to say about how screwed up everything was.
Sure.
And he took this idea of, look, we feel like we're all screwed up anyway. Enos's idea was we're so screwed up because people that are in our authority, whether you think it's God, whether you think it's the president, whether you think it's your community leader, whether you think it's your preacher, have abandoned us. Mm-hmm. That's, to me, one of the central themes is this idea of abandonment and people who you trust. Jesse Custer has a family who completely screws him up because his mother is a psychopath.
Right.
She fails him. She abandons him in terms of what a parent should be. His God has abandoned him in the way it should. He's abandoned other people. I mean, that's what it is, and I don't know what this sort of thing will be. Again, Walking Dead, to me, not as subtle as the book of what zombies usually are, which is, like, we're all zombies because we watch TV. Rick's big speech of, we're the Walking Dead. Okay, where are we going from here? We're just going to kill more people.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get more depressed.
So
that episode is so depressing. Did you watch Walking Dead last night?
I did.
You watch Walking Dead today? You don't watch Walking Dead at all.
I watch it usually when it shows up on Netflix.
Just like I said on Facebook, the fact that Walking Dead is the most popular show in America is a testament to how much we love being depressed.
You posted,
Oh, yeah.
You posted that, and I recently rewatched Tomorrowland, and the end speech from Tomorrowland.
I love that speech.
That the villain gives is amazingly poignant because sort of the MacGuffin is that Tomorrowland has been trying to warn our Earth of its own self-destruction by transmitting, literally the apocalypse to us,
showing us
to change. Like, this is the future. Please change, and instead of doing the
because
right
of the way we are as human beings.
Yeah, you're not shocked at it like, this is terrible. You're watching it, this is so cool.
No,
right.
it's actually
because they're transmitting it like as a mental message, and instead of people actually like we should fix the environment and
we should stand up and do
But that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, everybody took it, and he's like you turned it into movies and television and comic books and radio shows,
and you loved
so
it. That's
poignant.
the thing. I look at this and I'm like, this is the most popular show on television, and there's very little in it, especially this season.
Every time
there's
I watch
very
it,
little
now,
in
I
it
think of that.
of redeeming quality.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not interesting. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it's not fascinating. But I'm also saying I get to the end of it and go, what's the point of this?
Which, it's funny you should say that there's no redeeming qualities and things to it on an episode that was all about redemption.
But it isn't.
I know.
I mean, it's a single character, but you're watching it and you're going, spoiler, everybody else dies. Mm-hmm. And you knew from the start, watching the show, as soon as I saw the goat, like, well, the goat's not going to make it.
Yeah.
You know the goat's going to get eaten, and it's going to be his fault. His friend, obviously, as we know, going forward, doesn't make it because he's not with him. Mm-hmm. I want to see the show where I'm sitting here going, okay, this will be the twist. He walks away from that cabin, and the guy and the goat still are living. That would have been the twist.
Yeah.
Because you knew when you watched it.
Yeah.
You started it, and you knew none of them were going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
The happy ending in that show is the twist. Yes. And it never happens.
But even the guy himself could not be redeemed.
But it's just, I got to the end of it, and I'm really going, I don't know how much I really want to watch this show anymore because my life sucks. And I really watch this going, this blows. There's nothing in this. You get to the end, at least when you're watching Flash, you're kind of like, all right.
That was funny. Funny.
Not even that. It's like, you know what?
Well,
the new girl on the Force is really pretty, and they seem to be flirting. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
This is all right. Go for it, bro. Here, I'm just going, great. When is the baby going to get eaten? When is
I
when
find
is,
it
when
kind
is the
of
cow going to
refreshing
get
though, because everything has to have a happy ending nowadays, and just seeing.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Doesn't.
That's the problem. That's the thing.
Is
is that type of entertainment is gone. Look at Arrow. Arrow 10 years ago would have been a show about a superhero who actually does good stuff and everything. Arrow gets worse every single season.
The closest thing you have
look
to
at
Flash.
Gotham. Gotham has we're going to take the time. We're going to show you when the city blows. Your whole first season, there's one good guy. Jim Gordon is alone, all by himself. It took the second season to get Michael Chiklis' character in there to say, we have one other character.
Right.
But
he had to convince Bullock. He had to convince his captain.
But it's also but the problem with Gotham, and it's not my thoughts on Gotham aside. The problem with Gotham is that the end game for Gotham is that it doesn't get better,
right,
and never will.
It has to get worse. And if you already start completely in a hell, how do you get worse from that? Where you need to have Batman.
Which, if you remember, when you and I did the episode,
because Batman will show up and things will still get worse.
That's right.
Who would want to live in Gotham? Honestly,
right.
Well, who wants to live in Manhattan in the Marvel Universe? Like, who still lives in Manhattan? How many times? What's happening? Oh, the Kree are coming to kill us again. That's the third time this week. Maybe we should move, Bob. Did you ever think about that?
Hey, at least Marvel has a cleanup crew. All right.
It doesn't matter whether Marvel has a cleanup crew or not. The fact is,
which did you see? They want
to
do them as
a damage control comedy. That's the greatest idea in the world to do that as a comedy.
As a comedy,
because here we go. We're gonna have something that's fun.
Yeah.
And funny. It's why do I like Flash? Flash is a lot of fun. It's funny. There's just there's hope and I don't know.
Speaking of Flash, I was wondering how we were going to get back to Flash. Flash absolutely literally jumped the shark last week.
They had Fonzie on?
Yes.
No, and we use the word literally, too fluid.
Literal degree.
They jumped Fonzie?
But there was literally he literally jumped the shark. King Shark was in the episode last week.
I was talking to the other Travis or Travers, and he was like, I think they use Killer Shark because they can't use Suicide Squad anymore because they had begun to set them up in Arrow and immediately had to rescind on all of that work.
Well,
and
they started it.
They didn't use Killer Shark in the movie, so who we got left?
Is it Killer Shark or is it King Shark?
I think it's
King Shark.
It's King, right?
Yeah, it's Killer Croc, King Shark.
Right, okay.
Yeah, they use King Shark in the show. It's really didn't use him, so guess who you have now? You got King Shark, buddy.
He's there for half a second.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Everyone made such a big deal of that.
Yeah.
To the point where someone's like, oh, man, that ending was so cool. And they're never going to use it. They're never going to see it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't know what they were talking about. I'm like, the shark, man.
Yeah.
The shark. I'm like,
King Shark.
Okay. Yeah, it was a shark. It was a funny part because
you wouldn't
Patty. No, I expected it to. Patty Spivet's like, oh, look, there's a shark man. And it's like, no, it isn't. It's just human. And then he shows up. And the setup is that, again, spoiler, turn off. Fast forward, whatever. If you didn't watch last week's Flash whatever. That show didn't last. What are we gonna do next season? Well, I know. He's shot by Harrison Wells from the Other Earth.
Yes.
So that's the interesting thing is that they've already revealed to Barry that Harrison Ford. I almost said Harrison Ford.
You run really fast.
Junior, run fast. Anyway, that Harrison Wells is there's a version of Harrison Wells alive on that world right now.
Correct.
That to me was, but everyone was just like the shark, dude. The shark. I'm like, why are you? What is it that? Okay, like he's not a character that's. It's not like somebody really well known. Cobalt Blue didn't show up, and
Right.
Bart Allen didn't show up. Everyone was going nuts the next day, and I'm like, what are you guys all super? It looked fine. They're like, oh yeah, it looks so cool. I'm like, okay, and that was sort of like, all right, cool. You guys had a moment that you're like, this is really cool. I'm glad that looks cool, but I'm like.
It's just King Shark, guys.
It's just King
Shark.
Shark.
Well, see, when she first
I was
mentioned,
much more excited about how they were going to do Gorilla Grodd.
Right.
Gorilla Grodd is a classic. I mean, when you
Classic
saw
Flash
the
villain.
when you saw Grodd on the cell, when you first went into where Harrison's crap was, you're like, oh,
are they
this is
really
cool.
going to do
This
that?
is going to be great.
Well, see, and that's why I felt when I watched the episode, and she kept saying there was a shark man. There was a shark man at the very beginning. I was like, are they really going to show him? No, they're not going to show him. I mean, I get doing the metas and things like that, but you're talking full CG character here. Are they really going to do it?
Because that's their entire.
That was the other thing.
that's
where
their
you're
then
like,
they did it,
a
and I
full
was like-
CG character. Why is it a big deal?
You
You realize the Flash is a CG character, and
No,
about
I get that.
70% of his shot.
No, I get that, but I just mean because
You know Grant Gustin can't run that fast, right?
Gorilla Grodd was also pretty
Yes.
much
Yeah.
all CG.
Really? I thought that was a real way.
but no, it's
That
just
would have made it awesome.
Yeah, no Gorilla City though, so I'm out.
yeah.
No Gorilla
But
City.
it just I didn't expect him to go that far because it's such a outlandish character.
Is it though? Is it?
Well, now when you have Gorilla
You already
Grodd
had-
and
that's for
You've
me.
got
It's-
Grodd. You've already done the Weather Wizard early
Right.
on.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
but I
have
just mean
Heat
because
Wave.
I just meant because it really is. It's a man with the head of a shark. And Beth looked at me and she goes, "Wait, that's the same character from the Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, but
which
they
is in
didn't-
the
they
new
didn't-
52 Suicide
They
Squad.
didn't use him in the movie, which means he's a free character they can use.
Correct.
But guess who's going to be disappearing for a while? All the characters on that list.
Yeah.
Can't use them anymore for any of your shows, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, they wanted to use Dead.
Yeah,
They wanted to use Deadshot still.
Wanted, but
And-
but it's kind of weird because they've always had those problems.
Deathstroke, they still planned on using.
Small, yeah, not anymore.
Not gonna use Deathstroke
Anymore.
anymore.
No.
But they've had. I mean, like Justice League Unlimited had those problems. Smallville had those problems. I mean, Aquaman disappeared from both Smallville and Justice League Unlimited the minute they were going to do an Aquaman
Yeah.
TV show.
Well,
the
they-
moment they did the Chris Nolan Batmans, they had to change an entire season of Smallville because they couldn't use Batman anymore.
They wanted to use Harley, and they went, "Nope, you're
Can't-
not going to
can't do it
reveal
anymore."
Harley. Harley will not show up live in a TV series
They
first."
they took Joker out of the Justice League Unlimited cartoon because of Dark Knight.
Well,
it's-
Birds of Prey, Joker showed up. No, they didn't even show Joker. They showed his hand. They alluded
there was
to
a
everything
guy,
about.
there was a guy in makeup though. and
There
they
was
got
a guy
Mark
in
Hamill,
makeup, but you didn't see his
but
face.
Birds of Prey took place before there was any movie.
That's true.
So, but that's the thing is like they have a long history of like the moment like movies take priority once the movie
Oh
sort of,
yeah,
yeah.
We're gonna make more money.
Yeah,
Well, it's just-
yeah, of
as I'm
course.
watching the episode, all I can think of is Peter Benchley's White Shark, which is a novel about it's a German experiment in World War II that binds basically the DNA of a man and a shark, and it's just this land creature that starts eating people. So I'm looking like it looks like White Shark. So to me, that was the funny part. To me, it was like, there's a novel like Peter Benchley's only novel that's really kind of dumb.
Right.
Is there it is. Maybe it's White Shark, and then he shows up, and I'm like, cool, it's a shark looking dude. She
Shark
looks
man.
all right.
It's a
And then
street
when
shark.
he gets hit, and I was like, all right, cool, he gets shot.
That's it.
And well, that's the funny thing with it. It's like but it's all just a setup to show him that Harrison Wells is still alive. But then the next day, everyone's just like, shark man, shark, it's a shark.
Because they all grew up watching Street Shark.
Shouldn't they
as
have
kids
left
on
that for
Saturday
Shark
morning
Week?
Television. So the next thing we'll see is that he'll be in rollerblades and have a teenage attitude.
But shouldn't they have saved that episode for Shark Week?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, because Shark
So they'd
Week-
have to wait a whole
yeah,
year.
you'll
It was
wait
like
a
Shark
whole year
Week's
for
in
Shark
August.
Week.
Well,
isn't
also
it?
the Street Shark thing was a lot
Yeah,
funnier.
the street. I know.
Yeah, it was a lot better.
Yeah,
You really should have let
I
that one
worked
go.
on that one,
Yeah.
a whole 3 minutes in my head.
You worked on it longer than Rich did.
But my jumping the shark was good. When I first
But he
saw it,
doesn't-
the
he
first
doesn't
thing I
jump.
saw,
He
didn't
just runs
really-
past
he
it.
didn't really
he
jump.
does. He goes over him.
No, he doesn't.
He flips
He
over him.
No, he
really
doesn't.
jump
He just goes
the
past
shark.
it.
Yeah.
He doesn't jump
He
at
wasn't
all.
wearing like a leather jacket.
He just jumped the
on.
shark.
Like Fonzie totally jumps a shark.
But that's a reference of
But
like
you
40.
have a character.
Yeah,
You have a character in a show about a 1950s group of kids with a diner who all of a sudden, a couple seasons in, is like, I know what we're going to do. He's going to jet ski over a ramp over a shark that's somehow in a pen that doesn't exist.
Which he just passed away too.
The shark or Fonzie?
I was going to say Henry Winkler's alive and well.
No, he's not.
No,
he just passed away.
Not Henry Winkler.
Not
Yes,
Henry
he did.
Winkler?
No,
he did not.
what's the name of the restaurant?
That Big Al passed
Oh,
away.
Big Al
Al,
passed
yeah.
away. But
Yes.
no, I thought Henry.
No,
No.
we would know if Henry Winkler passed
Everybody
away.
would know if
I
Henry
could've
Winkler
sworn-
I
passed
think you're
away.
thinking of Fred Thompson.
No, I know he passed
Fred
away.
Thompson
too.
passes away. This is Death Corner on Nerdibles. No, Henry Winkler just had a birthday. He's fine.
Well, did he? Okay, that must
Yes.
have been what it was. I know that
He's-
I know that.
It's like
Al-
everybody
Al-
would.
The guy who
He's
carried
still alive.
the guy who played Big Al, the
Yes.
diner owner in Happy Days, died. Henry
Yes, I
Winkler
knew
is
that
still
one.
alive. He still produces
Maybe
a
it
hell
was
of a
because-
lot more television than anyone realizes.
Maybe it was because he had a
And
birthday
if you
recently.
want Henry Winkler's, if you really want to know how amazing Henry Winkler is, Arrested Development.
Yeah.
The lawyer he plays in
Oh,
that
yeah.
show is brilliant beyond words.
Go to the sea. Get to the sea. They can't prosecute you out there.
So speaking of old TV shows that were great, like the greatest of all time,
Happy Days
like
is the greatest.
the
of all
greatest American hero of all
time.
time.
I figured he was going with Firefly.
No,
The greatest show that's ever existed is Firefly.
I want to sing the song. Believe it or not,
no,
I'm
no, no,
walking
no,
on
no,
air.
no.
Yeah, we don't want to get
No,
copyright strike.
no. You have to do it.
I really don't care about the copyrights. I just don't
You
want to
got
hear
it.
him sing.
You have to do it in the dog voice from the video. That's the way to do it.
I
We should
love-
do an entire
You know
episode.
what I always wanted though? 'Cause I liked the Greatest American Hero. They used to play.
I
every
love
Chris
week.
Merkel was
that.
awesome. Robert
But
love
Feld.
that
they
show.
did when DVDs were new, in a time when people bought DVDs.
In
they
a world
they
in which
did a
people went to
complete
the
series
store.
box set, and the inside of that had a replica of his superhero manual. That was a light up like metal steel book manual. And
That's
I
awesome.
always wanted it, but it was like $170 when it came out.
Back then.
So?
Yeah.
I cried when he showed up in the movie House and he was the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
When I cried because I loved Greatest American Hero.
Dude,
he
you
gets
know
a,
what?
And
he
then-
gets an alien costume from space and becomes a superhero.
I just remember seeing I Spy and going, "Why is Dr. Cosby, the guy from Greatest American Hero, driving around in a car? What the hell is this?"
when he tried to take off and fly, it was great because he was.
That was one of the great shows ever because it was a superhero show. It's
fun.
before it's time. Superhero show about not being a superhero.
Right.
Yes.
But it's
And just that, yeah. Again, you want an '80s show. You want a show when the world had hope. You have a show in which a dude gets a suit and
Wonder
says,
Woman.
I have to do this. I don't
Yes.
have a choice.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's dangerous, but I have this suit and I need to do something good with it. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, even if I'm going to do the best that I can.
Yeah.
And it's the '80s, so nobody dies, nobody gets shot.
Yeah, well, it's this. It's
So for that one guy in Vietnam, nobody in the A team ever actually gets shot.
well, because
Well, you know they're talking about doing an A-Team show too.
Yeah,
See,
they did an A team movie. Remember?
see,
Yes.
Greatest American Hero is a show. Like I know they're going to remake it, but part of me is like, I kind of want to see
The original.
the original guy continue to be the Greatest American because it's also a show that you can easily
What if he
use
does it and he
as
passes it
as
down?
That's what I mean.
well, you can do it as a show that's
You've
like
had-
easily a mirror for all the dark and dreary,
Yeah.
you know,
And no one will
superhero
watch
shit.
it.
No one will watch it. And A
So,
Team
It's
is like
okay,
somebody's going to die.
hold
again.
on. What if you do Greatest American Hero as DC's Kingdom Come?
So it's an older.
The suit is passed on to his son.
That's what I
who
say
is an
they should do.
That's what I'm saying. It's passed on to his son, who's an anti-hero, and it's him trying to instill that sensibility of what it was like when he did. That would be amazing.
That would be a good show.
So
well,
please send,
'cause I can't imagine that
please
guy's
send
doing anything.
over an agent to
Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are going to write and they're writing the pilot for Fox.
That's a
The
police
director
procedural.
of Dope, which is Rick Famuyiwa, the one that did
Sure.
here. I'll let you figure out how to pronounce
Moranis?
his last name. He directed Dope is going to be the director of
Famuyiwa.
the pilot episode.
Famuyiwa.
Famuyiwa.
Famuyi.
Who are the what did the writers do? Do we have a IMDb on them? The
They
names are really familiar.
They're the ones who did the 21 and 22 Jump Street movies.
Funny movies, but I don't know about television.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I hear that and I
See,
go,
now you need your sandboard because that would have been the AMF.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of those like I hear that and I go, and then I go,
Because that was the greatest thing about it. It was a comedy drama television series.
Right. That's the thing is like the 21 Jump Street movies are very different from 21 Jump Street as a show.
There's no drama in those films at all.
That's the thing is like, is this just going to be all fart jokes, or are we actually going to have something very heartwarming and nice?
Now, this is the second try.
I can't imagine William Katz doing anything right now.
Here's the weird thing.
Does he look different?
Holy
crap.
This is the second attempt to do a reboot of the Greatest American Hero. Apparently, they tried to put one together in 2014.
I believe it. I believe they tried that.
It didn't work out.
Because especially superhero shows, geek culture is in vogue. I'm sure everybody is trying every. Dude, he looks like a badass.
Doesn't he? He looks like he's about Sons of Anarchy.
I got worried.
Wait. I know why Sebastian likes him. Homeboy has a goatee.
Yes.
He's got long hair and he's got a goatee. A dual color goatee, too.
But okay,
because look at that! Can't you see that guy being the dad?
I could see that guy being an old Greatest American Hero and saving the day and being like, "Son, we gotta have a talk," and just talk about it's like you don't just throw bankers, you just don't throw bank robbers 100 feet in the air. Yeah. The remake or the original?
He's in the original. What's Sissy Spacek?
Yeah. He was, believe it or not. I'm going right.
Believe it or not, he was the Greatest American.
When you
hero.
look at over his IMDb and you look at all the things he's been in, you're going, "Holy shit! I can't believe he's in that." Oh, he was in that. But no, in a time when we're talking about 18 reboots, we have Rocky.
Is that not the 80s?
Yes.
The picture of Robert Culp and William Katt as their characters.
We have a Rocky sequel in the theaters, or getting ready to hit the theaters.
But there's the
Get ready to hit the theaters?
A-Team, they're remaking A-Team. They're not continuing A-Team.
That's true.
At least the Creed movie, I have way more respect for going for doing something.
For doing Rocky V over again?
Yes.
It's the same exact story, except the kid is black.
And he's fighting a Russian in the movie, according to the trailers. But I know it's
must break you. That's racist. Oh, I'm sorry.
But at least
Glasnost, my friend.
At least there's a legacy to Rocky. And
he should be.
Well, so what you're saying is the Greatest American Hero needs to be a legacy piece.
Yes. Yeah, it has to be a legacy.
I totally agree. I totally think
that's the thing is, again, like a show like A-Team would work, but my problem is modern TV is so different. I would just want to see it like, it's like, you just continue the adventures of A-Team. It doesn't matter that the previous show was in the late 70s, early 80s.
Doesn't matter that
do they use the same song?
Of course they use the same song.
If you didn't,
dude.
No, not A-Team. Not A-Team. Greatest American Hero.
Oh, yeah, of course you do.
Oh,
that's iconic. It's in the dog video.
Yeah, no.
Look up Dog on a Plane, by the way, if you're listening to this. Look up Dog on a Plane, and it's a little dude in a propeller plane, and it is the dumbest thing you will ever see, but it'll be stuck in your head for the rest of your life.
Not like, especially for things like not using the theme songs for that is one of those moments where I go
blasphemy.
What's
the point?
Yeah, if I went to Tron Legacy and Daft Punk wasn't doing the soundtrack, I'd be like, then why am I here?
Right.
Why am I here?
X-Files starts next month. If it doesn't have the...
It does, because
I know. If they don't do that, they're like... I'm not watching that show.
Well, that's the thing is like because what's interesting is that we're talking about things like legacy and like the era of remakes, and there is that contingent of shows that want legacy over just cashing in. I mean, it's all cashing in,
right?
And cashing in again, that sounds like a dirty word, but it's not. Because
if you're giving fans what
we'll make cashing in a dirty word.
But here's the thing: if you give fans what they want,
right,
but also do it in a way in which, like X-Files, is a six. It's a six, but that's the thing. It's a 6-episode miniseries,
right?
And with the open possibility to continue somewhere down the line. But if they were to sit there and go, X-Files is returning to the air in fall of 2016 with a brand new cast, you're like, that's not what I'm looking for.
That's not what I want.
Correct.
I want to know what the hell happened to Mulder and Scully.
Right.
And it's all done in real time.
They're doing Twin Peaks, which is also going to be a show that's in real time. But that's the thing about, like, it's interesting to see which shows and which creators are sticking with their creations to give their shows legacy versus the shows where it's like, we're just going to remake Greatest American Hero. And I go, why? Why remake it? Why you have the perfect opportunity?
Remembers the original. This has been that's the other thing. It's in terms of time too, because you're in this nadir. Look, we remade stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Sure,
that was done years before in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, and you're like, okay, people didn't have that same kind of connection. Where now, we want to talk about that idea of Arrested Development and people staying with that kind of culture for so long. I'm still interested in the same show I was interested in high school. Mm-hmm. I watched X-Files in high school because X-Files, the greatest thing. Okay, we're going to
X-Files
take the
was
show
amazing.
that the nerds and the dorks are going to love, and we're going to put it on Friday night because nerds and dorks aren't doing anything on Friday night.
Right.
So they're going to have something, this community sense. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I'm interested in that again because I want to watch the same show.
This is the whole thing. This seems to be our theme throughout the year.
But it's also because the X-Files, for me, the X-Files ended with things to come that the movies have been trying to set up for, but they've been very lackluster because it's
the
very
second
hard.
movie they gave up.
Right. But it's also just very hard to translate something that would have been, a serialized story into a film.
Because they didn't have a step.
Yes.
It was like if there wasn't one more step.
I want my alien invasion, and this is getting there.
But this seems to be our it's been our ongoing thread, our theme throughout the entire years: remakes and reboots. The whole episode, this whole episode
remakes and reboots.
is we've bookended
which are
it.
Basically the same term.
We
just
have to
interchangeable.
reboot Nerdibles.
No.
We're getting a new fucking theme song. Oh shoot, I used the F word.
We're
We're getting a new theme song. We're getting a new picture. We're getting rid of the old people. We got to do something new. We need something new to the design.
I'm getting rid of the entire cast.
We're getting rid of the
replacing
cast.
them.
We need hip young people who use Tumblr.
No, we're gonna have Travis.
That's why I brought you on,
and
Sebastian.
Shauna.
I don't like Tumblr.
And Emily.
I'm sorry, I gotta go.
And we've had someone else who's been on the show like once. Caloose. Who cares? Well, that's that.
Mikey.
There we go. Yeah, Mikey. That'll be a great episode.
Mikey, Ethan.
Mikey, Travis, Shauna, and
We had
Emily.
Dave on once. Remember Dave? Frank from Up
I wasn't
Down,
on
Down?
that episode.
No.
I haven't seen that full in like.
And there's got to be
5-6 years.
explosions and machine gun fire, and
But
there
no,
has
it's
to be
all
dark.
like super cynical.
And
Yeah.
then we
dark,
come back. And then we all
brooding
come
music.
back a little bit later.
No, once that
Can
fails,
We make our cameos.
playing cameos,
Yeah.
but not as ourselves.
make
we
cameos.
just do it like this. We're like, hey, it's Chris.
we do cameos of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not playing the same character because that's what people want.
Look, here's the thing.
Everything. We're changing the theme song.
It's got to be dark and brooding.
Get rid of that theme song.
You're the only
yeah.
person that doesn't like that theme song.
I'm not the only person that doesn't like that theme
It'd be
song.
closer to like the X-Files theme.
No, it
We'll
just
just
be
do
something
Believe
a little
It or Not.
smaller rather than having like the word nerd 8,000 times in 5 seconds from a bunch of movies that really aren't super nerd movies.
We're gonna find a bunch of movies that say the word jock in it. Just be completely.
No, we just get like bro movies.
So anyway,
It's all Top Gun. It's just
I
the
was
sound
trying
of the
to say-
high fives while they're playing volleyball, shirtless and sweaty.
what I was going to say was we were bookending the show by talking about bringing back old shows.
Nobody
Star
wants our
Trek,
old shows.
and Greatest American Hero.
Star Trek.
But it is. It's
Star
been an
Trek.
ongoing theme we have. What'd I say?
You said Star Trek.
That's
I didn't say
that's
Star
like-
Trek.
Yeah, you
that's
did.
like the fourth
telling
time you've said it.
I didn't say Star Trek.
Sebastian's eyes get smaller and smaller every time you say
Sebastian secretly hates you inside now.
I didn't
He's
say
just-
Star Trek.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
did.
did.
Did
I'm
I?
gonna kick
Yeah,
Rich
yes, you
right
did.
in the balls one day.
Every single time.
No, I have not.
Yes, and it's just
Do
been
you
one of those
listen
things
to?
like
Do you actually listen to the episodes
let
after,
it
or am
go.
I
Yeah.
the only one? Okay,
Just let
you
it go.
listen
I'll have
to
to
it,
listen to it.
and next week you can apologize to Sebastian. Because
Well, if I said Star Trek, I apologize.
go back right now, what is it at?
It's
122. So we get about 121.10. I think you're going to
Star
notice it.
Trek and Greatest American Hero, but it has been our ongoing theme of
Star Trek: The Greatest American Hero.
of remakes or reboots.
legacy,
we see
legacies versus remakes.
we see with Star Wars, we see with
Quick,
with-
somebody come up with an original property that's actually coming out. Exactly. What opens Friday?
well, yeah, and
James
Spectre,
Bond.
yeah.
I'm so excited.
Even the Peanuts movie,
I'm sorry?
the Peanuts.
That's a whole different
trying-
kind of movie.
I know I said the F word once, but we're really trying to keep
I
the
said
show down to
Peanuts,
PG-13.
not penis.
Okay, sure you didn't. Do you want
Star Trek.
Do you want to see the penis movie? Talk about a remake.
What
and
is
a
that?
reboot.
Harrison Ford? Or
That's
want to
right.
say for this movie?
Is there an original property left to come out this year? That's not like
Good
an
Dinosaur.
independent.
Good idea. Yeah, probably Pixar may be the only thing that can do original properties
Oh
that
yeah,
people are
the
excited
Good
for.
Dinosaur. Yeah,
That's what Sebastian just said.
Yeah, that's it.
But think of it. You're really looking at it and going, that's probably the only original property that's going to make a ton of money this year.
yeah.
Because Tomorrowland went...
In and out.
Tomorrowland went into yesterday.
And Tomorrowland is a really divisive movie that I enjoy.
I love it.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, the Good Dinosaurs. I'm sure if I saw a list of movies,
In and Out. What the hell's In and Out?
Inside Out. That's the other Pixar movie that was
Yeah,
out
it's called
this year.
Inside Out. Don't say In and Out.
I didn't say In and Out.
Yeah,
I
you
said
did.
Inside Out.
No, you said In and Out. You got to listen to the last 10 minutes of this freaking
You
show,
got ready to
dude.
cuss again.
I'm telling you.
And then what do we got? Disney's End has they've got Moana coming out next year. Is what they're prepping for.
Well, next year all the remakes will be over. There's nothing left to remake.
Ant-Man was the original property.
Sort of.
Well, it was a Marvel book beforehand. So
See something that's developed. That's kind of like when you talk about toys. I mean, in the 80s, the toy was developed first.
Yes.
And then they're like, okay, we need media to support the toy instead of the other way around.
Right.
When they developed He-Man, they developed He-Man as a toy line.
Transformers was toys. Was another show.
Yeah,
Toys-
Transformers
toys
was just
before
basically
cartoon
we went to Japan and went, hey, all these toys are cool. Let's bring them all over.
Well, back then
there we go.
the only
make a show about
property that was a film before a toy was Star Wars.
Wasn't the only, but yes, it was one of them.
Of the major toy lines.
Yeah, something that you would remember. Yes, they made toys for a lot of other films or stuff like that. They made Battlestar Galactica toys after it was already a TV series.
I had those.
I know,
Oh.
and then they were banned because some kid shot his freaking eye out.
Yes,
Um,
the spaceship used to have right on the front of
Yeah.
it. I
The
love that
thing in the Cylon Raider, which I
plastic
still have
missiles.
somewhere.
Yes.
Would pop. The wings popped out on both sides, and then there were two cannons.
What
on
was
the inside.
what was the animal's name? I forget now. I keep wanting to say it was Tweak, but the Tweak was in
Beady, beady, beady.
yeah that was about Buck
Twiggy.
Rogers, Twiggy.
Beady, beady,
But what was the dog's name in
beady, 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 beady.
in Battlestar
I don't
Galactica?
know, but there was a midget in it.
Because it was half robot, half.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't think
know
of
what
the
you're talking
name.
about. He was the kid's. He was
Yes.
the kid's pet on the show.
That and the other.
I loved Battlestar Galactica so much because I was too young when it first came out. I was too young to realize that there's only 4 shots in it. Because when I got older, when it was on Channel 13, as soon as I would come home and I would grab like a handful of cheese puffs and I'd go sit down and I'd watch it. And I remember getting about 3 episodes into it going, that's the same shot they've used. That shot of the Cylon Raider going over the top end of the Galactica
And the
cannon
Galactica,
just going. They use that every single episode. And then the next one, like, check this out. Mirror it. It comes in the other direction.
You know what other movie I wish they would remake is Black Hole.
The guy who did Tron Legacy was working on a treatment for a new version or a continuation of Black Hole.
Yes.
They wanted it like Tron Legacy Black Hole, but then
That and I want the cat from outer
independent
space.
movies don't do well, so they just sort of were
I
like,
forgot that Boxy was the dude. It was what's his face in Neverending Story.
What?
The guy who played Boxy is the guy who played the title
Boxy,
character.
that's its name.
No, Boxy was the
Was it a kid? Oh,
Yeah.
it was a son.
Yeah.
He was Apollo's kid.
Was he Apollo's kid or is he just a kid that was on the?
He was just a kid on
Was
the
he-
Galactica.
Yeah, I don't think Apollo had a kid.
Oh.
And Lockhart. And Lockhart was so beautiful in that show. As Sheba, she was fantastic.
No, but the cat
she was
from
never in the remake of Battlestar Galactica.
No,
I want
she
the
was
cat
not.
from outer space.
The cat from outer space. Okay.
Those old Disney movies were such great things. I love those.
What the hell was that thing? It's not in the. I figured they would give the guy who played in the suit some love on this cast here, but
So, anyways, let's wrap things up because we're going pretty long here. We're going an hour and a half.
cool. Isn't like 10 things we said we were going to talk about?
We
we
got
didn't?
everything except for comic books. Oh, and Halo.
Halo
Halo.
5 came out.
Yes,
Comic
okay, real
Fun was
quick.
had
Halo,
by all.
Kamikaze, and comic books. The 3 things we said we were going to do.
Yes.
We didn't.
Fun was had by all.
So, because I didn't pick up Halo, it seems like it's gotten lost in the shuffle of things.
For you,
How did you not pick up Halo?
I didn't.
for
I
you,
know.
maybe. But Halo
That's
did
odd.
incredibly
Usually
well
you
for
send
its
your wife to
release.
pick up whatever. The
Yeah.
day it
The
comes
sign
out.
of the apocalypse.
You could have just downloaded it.
Dude, were you here when Game of Thrones came out on DVD? When it first came out on DVD, I remember being here and Rich calling Beth 3 times to make sure that she had gone to Target to buy it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, get home with it. I got to watch it right now. And then immediately after, I'm signing up for HBO. I'm going to pay
I did.
$19 a month because I like 1 hour of television on HBO. And I can watch Green Lantern anytime I want to because it's on all the time.
Speaking of watching things over and over again, I just watched Guardians and Captain America again.
God, you need a life.
Why?
Because they're my go-to. They're my background shows.
Here, I got an idea. Turn off the background and actually concentrate on building the R2. You'd be freaking done by
That's
now.
true.
The hell is the name of that thing? This is driving me crazy.
If somebody knows what the name of the
So, no.
furry
no,
animal
I have the
creature-
damn internet, okay?
Battlestar
Halo
Galactica.
5. Halo 5.
It's really fun.
Is it, I mean, because Halo 4 kind of lost a little bit of its edge, of the Halo edge.
I think. Well, I don't think it lost the Halo edge.
Although Halos don't have edges.
They think they just sort of didn't like. They had an idea where they wanted to go, but it's Halo 5 is definitely a game where you look back and go, okay, I know what you want to do. And Halo 5, I suppose the only real controversy surrounding Halo 5 has been people either really love the story mode,
right,
or they don't like it because it does.
Well, you said it's short.
It's short, but it's not.
I have to waste my time playing story. Can I just go online and kill people?
Yeah, it's not. It's not that the story mode was short. Was the problem? It's just it ends very abruptly. Like the ending of the game is a cliffhanger for.
Well,
Halo 6.
wasn't the end of 2 a cliffhanger too?
Yes.
Where he's just like, I need my guns or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So bad.
And this is
well, end
another
of 2,
one.
you literally are jumping into.
It's another one of those like, okay, game ends. Now I got to sit here and wait until Halo 6 comes out because I really need to know what happens. Because I was playing the game and I was just one of those, as the story progressed, like, man, I think I know where this is going, but I'm not sure. And then you get to that big reveal and you're like, oh god.
You know what? I might buy it digitally.
Here's the thing with
Travers and I were talking about it. It's basically for Halo 6, they're Battlestar Galacticing Halo, and I'm really intrigued by where that could go.
Halo is one of the few franchises, and I think because the Halo 1 and 2 story mode is so intense and intricate, that people are interested in playing the game simply to know where the story goes.
Yes. And it's all, and
I mean, for me, playing Halo 2, I barely ever played Halo, but my friend had gotten Halo 2, and we played co-op, like over a weekend. And I remember asking questions like, wait, who's this guy? So what happens in the first one? I've always been interested in those kind of stories that are around it, which is why everyone always thinks that it would make a great movie, but I think it's hard to translate. But I've read some of the Halo comics, and they're interesting.
Yeah,
Muffet, that's a damn...
Do you know how I looked it up? Battlestar Galactica dog.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's also because like all the they have the big series of books for Halo.
Yeah,
they have the comics and stuff, and 343 / Microsoft has been very much like yeah, this is canonical, it's cool, and they do make references to it in the game
universe too.
But they also make references that if you're gonna make a reference, like if you know what that is from a book, you're fine. If you don't know what it is, you can,
it doesn't
you
matter.
can gloss over it and not stress about it.
So this whole thing is Master Chief versus the Spartan.
So
the Guardian character.
The Spartan. So basically, the game is Spartan Locke is going after Master Chief because Master Chief wants to go find Cortana.
Right.
And that's where the story moves on from there. And
so the Locke character's in the last one also. Or not?
Not really.
Okay, because I remember seeing some of this, like when everyone's like, "Oh, Halo 5 is coming," and it's this, and
and then
didn't I see this commercial a year ago? Like I could have sworn I saw something about Guardians and having these two characters kind of facing off. I swear it was like
they've been
forever
gearing
ago.
up for it, and they when they did the anniversary for Halo 2, they put Locke in a new scene for the game to sort of explain how some of the undercover stuff was being done in the Halo universe with the character.
Maybe the first game I buy digitally.
Yeah,
fully digitally.
But it grows from there because the story, and
then buy it on disc.
The tip of the iceberg is just Locke looking for the chief, but then the story shifts gears really fast away from that, and you move into the big evil for Halo 6.
Nice. So the reason you couldn't find the actor for Muffet, Muffit, Muffet, it's because it was a monkey. It was a chimpanzee.
That makes it so much cooler.
Yeah. And here's the other thing.
I'm sure it wasn't just a chimpanzee either. I'm sure there was 10 of them.
Ralph McQuarrie came up with the concept for it.
Ralph McQuarrie came up with everything.
So, and on that note, we're going to wrap things up.
McQuarrie and Sid Mead, two guys you go to for everything for design.
Kamikaze wasn't. I mean, it was another con.
It was weird.
It was really weird. Yeah.
It was like weird because they separated everyone. No, they did what you had said. Ideas that you and come up with. It's just move the cosplayer somewhere else, and that's where they moved them all.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's where they put the main stage. Where
like one of my friends who was visiting didn't know there was another room to the.
They
convention.
had it. It was very weird. We showed up on Friday. We got in early because all the passes said industry, whether you were press, pro, or whatever. If you were not an exhibitor and you were not a fan.
A regular attendee.
A ticket holder, you were industry. And so they let us in earlier. I remember walking in, we looked at
yeah, exhibitors and industry got in early.
This is way smaller than Long Beach. And then we figured out there was another hall, and then we walked over to the other hall. And
so they had all the main signings and all the cosplayers and everything and fan groups in another hall.
It was set up really weird. The Artist Alley is what a lot of Artist Alleys are becoming, in which it's an artist, and then it's someone who's selling on Etsy.
It's almost small
and then
press.
It's an artist. It's not even small press. Look, everything Artist Alley is going to be small press. I'm not talking about that.
True.
I'm talking about you have someone like Livio Ramondelli, and next to him is a dude who's making spoons that look like superheroes.
Right.
And then there's Humberto Ramos is next, and then there's someone who's doing knit yarn.
It's all art, but it's not like you're having comic book artists anymore.
They used to kind of put those type of things in different places, but I heard a couple of people complaining about where they were placed. Because they were just like, this isn't. I'm not in a spot where anybody else of what I'm doing is here. The vendors were. It felt kind of packed. Again, from someone who kind of like open size trying to want to pay attention to a lot of these different things. Sorry, is my phone in the way of your rug art here? Yep. Your blanket art.
What are you doing?
He's like making a tree or something.
Yeah,
and you just do this, and then you get all mad.
Is that what you've been doing?
Pretty much.
Erasing his canvas?
It's like when you pick up the anthill. Like, they spend months and months building these intricate little tunnels. And they hate it when you do this. UHF, I love it.
I listen. Yeah, that's one they should remake.
No! Don't you ever remake UHF.
They should never remake anything ever.
I'll burn down that entire studio if you remake UHF. That is one of the greatest movies of all time. Today, we're teaching poodles how to fly.
That's how I felt about Ghostbusters. See,
everybody has their one.
Everybody has their one.
It's Encino Man. You can watch all the Jeopardy you can handle. Let's go. Every man has his price.
Yeah,
I mean, he won't do it for anything else, but as soon as you tell him he can watch all the Jeopardy he can handle, he goes. Anyway, going back to Kamikaze.
Kamikaze.
The booths. I mean, Friday is the booths. The booths are crazy, man. I'll tell you. Let me do this in a bad Mexican accent. Fridays was obviously so different than when we were back on Sunday. And the thing with Sunday is just like everything. If it's a merchandise booth, if it's a booth with toys, Funko Pops, purses, whatever, packed.
Right.
You walk by anything that has comics, empty.
Well, that's when we walked by Mike Mignola. He was sitting there.
That was Friday. Nobody knew who Mike Mignola was. Artist Alley was fairly packed, but I mean, really, again, you go to these types of shows, and I'm wondering where this fandom comes from that is so desperate to get physical representations of comic books that they don't seem to be reading.
Right.
Like for me, let's talk about this. There's one of the guys there. I mean, and it's as much as like I do agree with that setting. There's a sports term for it where, when people suddenly start supporting sports teams when that logo
jumping on the bandwagon.
They're following the logo.
Yeah,
when I was in high school, my friend Scott bought a Chicago White Sox hat because he thought it looked cool.
Right,
and he didn't go so far as to support the team, but. Up to me, I became a Nashville Predators fan because their logo is a saber-toothed cat. Because when they were,
well, that's like saying you would have jumped on the Toronto Raptors because there was a raptor.
Well, I would have if I cared about basketball at all.
No, but there's a specific saying for people like when your local sports team makes it to the playoffs and suddenly everybody and your mother. Cares.
Oh yeah, no, that's a bandwagon.
That's bandwagon.
But this is a sense of, there's that of all my friends,
the superhero bandwagon.
All my friends are. You see it when you go into a comic shop. I see it in our comic shop all the time. Of people who come in and are like, all my friends are reading comics, so I came into the comic shop and now I don't know what I'm doing. When I talked to there's a Big Pop Toys. I only mentioned it because he comes into the shop here and there, but I've gotten to talking to him and we were talking about. Dang it! I lost my train of thought. Still at the time, Predators, but you're talking about this idea. Oh, he's doing Pac-Man. Oh, look, he died.
I was waiting for you because he'd gotten so far into that one.
I know, and he just keeps going. Like,
dude over here.
He's going to forget his train of thought again.
When it's, I was talking about the last batch of Marvel 3 3/4, the last batch or two, and Bishop. And I'm sitting there going, I've wanted a Bishop character, a 3 3/4 accurate comic book representation of what Bishop looked like in the comic books for the longest time.
Right.
And I was so disappointed when he came out.
I got it, and you didn't.
No, I have it.
Did you get it?
Oh, yeah. No, I bought it as soon as I saw it. No wrist articulation. That was one of the ones I took the picture. I took a picture of that and the Spider-Man in the green neon costume.
Yes.
Or black costume with green neon highlights. No torso articulation, no wrist articulation. Not even the fact that you could turn the wrists at all. And that's what I was saying. Like, I've been waiting for this for the longest time, and that's what I got. But the bigger issue is someone like me that's been waiting 20 odd years for a really cool 3 3/4, which is my favorite size, a 1/18 scale Bishop. Where are the guys who who else is buying that toy? How is this industry so big? The representation of stuff we're talking about. Oh, no one's reading comic books anymore, but they're sure as hell trying to figure out.
But there's a Bishop action.
Yeah,
figure.
but there's a Bishop action figure.
Right.
There's your 6-inch figures are sold out everywhere, and they're not all based on the movies. You have an Ant-Man release. Ant-Man's from the movie. All the 6 other figures in the Legends series 6-inch line
the comic book versions.
are comic book versions.
Yes.
And it's sold out everywhere for the most part. I mean, you can find the Tiger Shark or whatever now, but in its initial release. And I'm like, because people are like, well, it's just scalpers. Someone has to be buying from the scalpers, or the scalpers stop buying it.
Right.
The reason why we're having such a tough time, we can find G.I. Joe at Toys R Us. You know why? Because no one's buying it online.
Right. This is what we were just talking about when we were at Kamikaze looking at all the new Star Wars figures that they had there already.
Star Wars is a total different thing. People want Star Wars figures.
True.
It's
there.
It's
they'll
on the
always
screen.
want Star Wars figures.
It's on. If they start doing, we're going to do figures based on the Old Republic comic book series. Who's looking for that?
Right.
In the case of Star Wars, people are going to be like, "Oh, we want Star Wars." It's odd to see. You have representations of everything now. You are living in a physical, tangible representation. If it exists in some sort of media, there's a toy company that's going to make it.
Sure.
It's out there in even if it's in some limited fashion.
And most of the time, it's going to be reaction.
Oh God, we're not going to get started on it. Hey, look, they're Star Wars figures. But it's just odd to see it where I'm like, who's buying this stuff?
Right.
Who is this excited when you're looking at a fan base that, for the most part, is not seriously into comics anymore?
Right.
So where is the love coming from? Where is the passion coming from? It's not just the movies. It's not, oh, I need all the Avengers figures, because we can find all of the Avengers movie figures all over the place. Mm-hmm. We can't find the Avengers 3 3/4, the Infinity Series stuff that you and I would be looking for.
Right.
I just find it kind of an odd sort of thing. And to the gentleman when I was at the booth in the back that swore up and down that Spawn is a DC character, you're wrong. I'm all
got
for.
bought by Marvel, didn't you?
I'm sure Todd McFarlane would sell it to Marvel.
About Neil Gaiman, and he's now a Thor character.
I get what you're saying.
Of all the people, nearly burned the doors down of Marvel when he walked out. I don't think he's selling back. Jim was just sort of like, yeah, I don't care. I mean, I need my money.
I'm an artist.
Cool. Yeah, I have this thing. Nobody cares about Wildstorm anymore. It's this weird sort of.
But the representation, the people that are buying up these representations, it's weird. I agree with you that it's weird because the stuff you're seeing at cons are stuff that we would want to see in stores on a regular basis, but we can't find them because all the people
they're super niche.
Yes,
they're super niche.
Well, that's it. You have a lot of super niche stuff. Everything gets represented. What I'm saying is that I don't know where the fandom for all of this stuff kind of be. I've gotten into that trap too, where I'm sitting there and I'm like, I want all the Star Wars stuff, I want all the Avengers stuff, I want all the G.I. Joe, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll buy Ghostbusters figures, I'll buy Transformers, I'll buy Battlestar, and I've had to limit myself lately going, I'm not the hugest Back to the Future fan, I'm not the hugest Ghostbusters fan, I enjoy them.
But if they put out a 3 3/4, you'd buy it.
Not anymore. I'm looking at it. Well,
so you're telling me
3 3/4 because of mashup.
If they put up a Marty McFly with a hoverboard for 3 3/4,
if you do an no, that's different because in a 3 3/4 size, I would use that to mash stuff up.
You still would, even if it didn't have articulation. You still
it's already out there.
And
reaction already has
a reaction for Back to the Future already.
I'm not buying anything.
Does he have the hoverboard?
No,
doesn't matter.
Okay, see, if he had the hoverboard, I'd buy it.
See, but that's the thing is like Diamond guys, Mattel let go of their Ghostbusters license for the new film, I think. Mm-hmm. But Diamond is picking up the license for the old film. They already announced Series 1, which looked really good. The Mattel ones looked really good. I didn't pick up all of them because they were all like, you had to be part of their special collectors club. But the Diamond figures look good, and I go like, okay, I think this time around I'll go get them because I missed a lot. I have like Walter Peck, and I've got like some of the exclusive, like an exclusive Egon. But like, no, the Diamond figures actually look a lot better.
Yeah, but see,
I'll put my hat in the ring for that.
Yeah, right, because you're a huge Ghostbusters fan, right? But you're not going to buy Star Wars toys.
For the most part, I rarely do.
It's got to be exactly. But this is what I'm
saying. But you and I are the ones. I mean, Mikey does a little bit.
Like I'll buy.
Mikey doesn't buy anything anymore.
Like I got myself the last thing I'm like the next Star Wars thing I know I'm getting for sure is the Amazon pack with all of the different versions of the troopers.
But that's only because that's a specialty one.
Not because it's a specialty one, but because I can get 4 figure. Right. I can get one of each figure in one box for less than the price of buying 4 figures.
That was a cool design. That's what I'm talking about is you have guys now who just this thing of you love all of these different things, and they're feeding you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, it used to be Star Wars and G.I. Joe was it.
Right.
That's the only thing they made toys of stuff you liked. You're never going to get these other types of things.
But you'd still every once in a while pick up maybe one Transformer or something else.
And I understand the curse. I just bought the HalloweenCostumes.com and Universal Studios put out a replica pair of the Nike Air Mags.
Right.
The only real difference is they don't auto lace and they don't have the Nike logos because Nike doesn't license their imagery out to anybody. But I bought a pair to go with my hoverboard because they actually do light up. And if I wanted to, I could make them more accurate.
You're a giant Back to the Future fan.
But
you're gonna buy the Firehouse.
Someone
like me, you're gonna buy the Lego Firehouse. Yeah. Someone like me that looks at it and says that is awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'd like to buy that, but there's other things I want.
I don't feel like I even deserve to have it because I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan in the world. I bought the Ecto 1 because it's the Ecto 1, and it was cheap.
Set.
But now I'm sitting there looking at it like if they came out with a whole line of Ghostbusters stuff, I'm not buying it because I'm not. It's like what?
But you didn't buy the Death Star.
Well, I didn't buy the Death Star because it's $700 freaking dollars.
Well, you didn't buy the Ultimate TIE Fighter
because it's
it's super expensive.
It's a super expensive. Like that thing is like
I don't have any place to. That's the type of thing. If I'm going to spend that much money, I want to display something.
Right. Exactly.
I have a $250 sideshow Styracosaurus, which is still in the box because I don't have any place to put it.
So that statue too is really nice.
But do you find
it's amazing?
Because
the Triceratops looks so good.
Because you and I,
doing the AT-AT driver. Oh,
you and I are kind of the same thing where we buy a lot of different. There's a lot of different things.
Hand in a lot of things. What I've looked at in the last year is what I bought the 6-inch Dutch from Predator because Predator is my favorite Arnie film.
Right.
I love Predator. I love him in Predator. It's a great likeness. I bought it. And it's also, I love Deathstroke. I love the design work for Deathstroke. I have 4 6-inch Deathstrokes.
Right.
And you're damn right, I have them next to each other where they're all trying to destroy Dutch. But I also said, well, I might as well buy some Predators too. So now I have 3 Predators. And I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I love Predator, but really, what am I doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, it's like being...
Because now I want the alien.
Yeah, being someone like, being somebody that's like, I have my specific loves. Like Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, like, they're the two that, I have to stop myself from buying everything and anything I can get my hands on because I know I'm the sucker that is like, it's like we can put out anything and he'll buy it and I have to go, no, not today. All right, I'm getting the PKE meter and the trap.
Well, you're gonna do what makes sense. We're Star Wars fans. We're not buying everything that's Star Wars.
Right, exactly.
Well, even for Force Friday, I looked at some of the stuff I bought and I went, why did I buy this?
Yeah, see, Force Friday, I barely spent anything because I said the same thing. I bought
the X-wing, like the big, the Pose X-wing, because I just like the McQuarrie style.
The design looks cool, and you're a Lego guy anyway. You bought the Lego one, right?
I bought the Lego one specifically.
See, you and I are looking at 5 POA figures, and I have the designs I love,
right?
Because the packaging has pure art on the left-hand side.
Sure,
that's all I'm buying them for. I'm looking at 5 POA. I'm never buying one to open.
Right.
Of the new stuff.
I opened them.
I just don't.
But that's
care.
Also the thing is like they're charging you the same price for less.
Yes. At this point now, they're up to that's a different show. That's $8-9. But that's the thing is Star Wars for me. If you give me articulated 3 3/4, I'm probably going to buy it, even if it's a character I don't care about because it's articulated 3 3/4.
And you have a specific collector's mindset. You're looking for those figures specifically. Versus the reaction, which is basically 3 3/4, but you can only just move the arms forward.
But see, here's the thing: I've been dying.
I've
I've been dying for 3 3/4 Firefly figures. The only thing I have available to me are the reactions.
See, that was the thing when the reaction first came, you were excited, and I told you what this does more than anything else is it probably prohibits that ever happening.
Correct.
And luckily, you have 6-inch. They finally did.
They did a 6-inch. Luckily, I got the 6-inch instead of getting the 3 3/4. I'd prefer to have the 3 3/4 because I can mix and match. I can play.
Star Wars figures.
To me, 6-inch becomes statuettes.
They made Stargate action figures, and I have the set of the main team, and I go, who but me is buying a set of
Reaction
Star
is this weird thing where they bought every license that didn't exist in 3 3/4.
Yes.
Right.
And it's all from, hey, we made up this story about finding the lost Kenner alien stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a made up
you know
story.
what,
It was this, but yeah.
I can't imagine though one day they'll do a double price and then be like they'll do special versions with more articulation.
But
so
see,
that people
like-
ask.
See, that's the thing that I don't understand with them. If you have a license already, why not do that?
Because they're doing a stylized figure.
That's
right,
great.
but that's not. But this.
Could
the
you
stylized
imagine
figure-
how much money they would make if they did a limited run of 3 3/4 Firefly, all
fully articulated
6? How many major characters are in it? How many characters in the crew? 5, 6,
7.
7? Fine, whatever. You do 7, and you tell everyone there's 2,500 pieces total, and they're fully G.I. Joe, Pursuit of Cobra era.
Right.
Double elbows, double knee joints, rocker ankles, rocker
twisty,
wrists.
it's
The torso
wrists.
moves, the head moves. You'd buy the hell out of it. And most of you guys, you'd have to buy 2 of them because Reaction's great. You can put them on the wall, and you never have to worry about it until that plastic, which, by the way, blows in
Yes.
terms of the seal, is going to come off, and your figure's going to come out, and you're like, great, I have a statue
Yeah.
that's really terribly done. Take a look at the Black Canary one from Arrow.
No, I know. But see, there's some of them like
Take
the
a
old Star
wonderfully
Trek.
good-looking woman and Katie Lawson have a
The old Star Trek, the original series Star Trek ones, they
But those didn't
They-
really exist though. Like the Star Trek toys from the '60s were like Mego style
Right.
action figures.
Yeah, the thing with it is it
And
started as an
Mego
idea.
makes those.
Yeah, the idea that Reaction started with is Kenner, which is now owned by Hasbro, which is now Hasbro, in 1979, 78, whatever, 77, they were going to make alien figures
Right.
in 3 3/4, and they're like, what the hell are we doing? It's an
so
R-rated
they bought the
film.
molds.
And, well, I don't think they made the molds themselves after
And
they
then
found
came
the
up with
original
the story?
designs. Well, they found the designs.
Right.
And it's not like they weren't hard to find. If you did with stuff in the 70s, then to me that sort of makes sense. If you do early 80s stuff, like when they
Yes.
did Magnum PI, it's like, look, if they made a 3 3/4 Magnum PI in 1984,
That's what it
this
would
is
look
what
like.
it would look like.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
They did those.
But
Goonies.
when you're doing Firefly, when you're doing the current Arrow TV series,
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing, Jupiter Ascending or some crap movie that no one ever saw, you're like, what are you doing?
Right. Well, that's why when I saw
Wait,
the
you
original,
saw it?
yeah,
Are you kidding?
he
You
owns
didn't-
it.
You didn't go out to see it, did you?
No, he bought it.
Did you go out to the movie theater to see it?
No, he bought the Blu-ray.
I bought it for the same price that it was in the theater. Like if I went to watch it, it's like $8.
But why?
Because I wanted to see it.
Why?
Because I wanted to see
How
it.
terrible was it?
It
wasn't
bad.
great.
It was.
Hold, stop.
Wasn't,
How terrible was it?
wasn't great.
Did you finish it?
I would say out of 10, I would give it like maybe. Yeah, I did finish it. Out of 10, I'd give it like maybe a 5 or 6.
How many times you watched it?
Just once.
Hold on.
So a D. D
Wait. You missed. We're gonna miss the whole point. You finished it.
Yes.
But you didn't finish the fucking Lego movie.
There we go. That's twice on this episode.
That one deserves it.
yeah,
I'm
that
sorry.
one deserves it.
Yes.
You can bleep it later.
The thing with the Lego movie, also, I was up for what?
I don't
don't
care.
give
Hours
me that.
straight. Anyway.
You've had 2 years to watch the Lego movie all the way through, but no, you sit down.
I
Look,
haven't been
no,
interested
stop,
in
just
Legos
stop.
for a while
Just
either,
stop.
so
Just-
it's not
that's
like
blasphemy to Sebastian. So
Why are
need
you
to
on this
apologize to him.
podcast?
I don't
He's
know.
got to run the
anymore.
sound. You sit here and all of us join in and we look at Rich and go, "You're an idiot because you just wasted 9 hours of this week going, hey, Guardians of the Galaxy's on again. I better watch that. I wonder if he dances at the end this time." You've had 2 years. You wasted your time watching Jupiter Ascending, a movie that got like an F from Entertainment Weekly,
Okay.
that got like 5% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Okay.
and didn't think, you know what? I'm gonna finish the Lego movie.
I have no interest in finishing it. I have no interest in watching Jupiter Ascending again.
Yeah, you own it.
Yeah, because it was like $8. It was the same if I went to go see it in the theater.
No one wanted to go see it in the theater. That's
So, anyways,
I got cross purposes. Rich and Ethan are sitting across from each other. And between the two of them, they've seen TMNT, Jonah Hex, Jupiter Ascending, and after everybody had already told them this movie is literally hot garbage. Like it's on fire. It's a
Which
trash
movie?
fire. All of them. It's not like you went on opening day to TMNT. Oh, I didn't read any of the reviews yet. It has turtles in it, and they have ninja weapons. This has to be good.
I on demanded.
That's what I'm saying. You knew when you put it on there.
I did go.
People had
you
seen
knew that
it.
it was bad.
I did go see
That it
Fantastic
was-
Four.
You saw Fantastic effing Four. That
Mike-
movie made $45, and 12 of it is yours.
Yeah, that's about it.
More than 1/4 of that film's total.
Hey, Mikey
gross
went
is
too.
you.
So
Mikey's weird. But you did all of this after the fact.
this all started
After
because
you
of
do.
Kamikaze, right?
No, I don't.
We keep going to Kamikaze.
I don't support actually going to see these movies either.
Did we lose you? Did your microphone say
I
I'm
think
tired?
His microphone gave up.
So okay,
I don't support going. I don't support knowingly seeing bad movies. That is
When he did Jonah Hex, he's like, "It's okay, I just rented it." That's why they keep making it, though.
Yeah.
Because Netflix will go, "Well, it's a complete pile of steaming dog feces." Like, it's in a corner. You've seen it in the video where it is. The physical copies of Jonah Hex have to be kept in another warehouse because they smell so bad that they can't be kept in the same warehouse as the good stuff. And look, we have dead batteries again. Well, there's a new one. And yet, you're like, "Hey, I'm going to watch this movie. I'm going to say Netflix will still buy it." Someone's going to make a terrible Jonah Hex 2 because they're like, "Hey, people from Netflix, they needed something to do."
They watched it 50 million times.
okay. So Sebastian's mic's going. We're going round in circles now.
This isn't round in circles. We're going to continue this.
We're
into
gone
the
for
day
2 hours now.
In which
we're
are
going
we
to
really?
Yeah, we're
Oh
going
my
to
God,
split
I
this
gotta
one
go
into 2 episodes.
No, you don't. People have 2 hours worth of time. So yes, Kamikaze.
Why don't we
was
just
weird.
switch them? Because Ethan doesn't hardly talk. And
Well, no, he's making Pac-Man.
Well, anytime that I make a comment, somebody has to, berate me for not watching the Lego
Oh,
movie.
stop! Like, we've berated you half as much as I've berated Guardians of Cap 2 over here.
that's true.
Come on.
That is very
Getting
true.
there.
And you berated me for that too.
Yeah.
You berate me for it.
I wouldn't rape you.
Oh, I wanted to talk to Sebastian. I wanted to talk about it after the second episode of the last Doctor Who this past week.
No one wants to talk about Doctor Who.
So since this week is a second continuation, I'll have to see what he thinks of it.
Have you even watched it?
I haven't watched it. I have it on my computer though.
Okay.
But it's one of those things like I'm watching Doctor Who, but I'm watching it out of habit.
Yeah.
And Stephen Moffat recently.
I think I'm doing that with Muppets. I think I'm done.
Stephen Moffat recently said something like just so ridiculous that he's like upping the TV game with Doctor Who. And
Well, I just wanted
he
to
said
see
something. He said something on the order of that, and I go like, no, man, no, you
He's
haven't.
busting the genre because he has glasses.
Yeah,
now.
you haven't been watching some of those Netflix shows, have you? You're not changing landscape of anything.
Yeah.
So,
But I'd like to see what you think of this new.
because I know that
two-parter.
the first part was kind of cool, but I'm just kind of like, for me, like with Stephen Moffat's run, I'm kind of like he's his run on the show, something like he said all he needed to say with season 5,
Right.
and just sort of been dragging its feet.
So what do you think about Doctor Who signing on for till at least 2020?
The actor.
Well, no, the actor signed on for at least 10, season 10, which is next year, and Moffat's on at least for 10, which is next year. But the show has been signed on with the BBC to run through 2020.
That's great for a show
Doctor-
that the BBC got rid of like a decade ago.
Yeah, but Doctor Who's also been a show that ran for a really long time, anyways.
Correct.
And if they can keep it fresh, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's Doctor Who's a very different show. Like there's no.
Sebastian should run Doctor Who.
That would be nice. Please send.
We'll have to do a whole Doctor Who episode.
It's
and get your
tough.
opinion.
Doctor Who is not a show that has
Here, wait, let
a
me-
clearly defined ending.
That's true.
You can stop Doctor Who for like they did for like 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and come
Start
back
up
to
with
it.
somebody who doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, and
I'm not gonna be
and-
Doctor
but
Who
have it
here.
be okay.
Right.
So
That really worked out for him too, because he stopped doing it because he wanted like other roles. And
he
stuff.
wanted other roles, but he also didn't
Yeah.
like because again it was a new take on the show, but they were also shooting it on such a tight schedule.
It
He
wasn't
didn't-
allowing him
yeah,
to do anything else,
yeah,
really.
and he just was like, "I'm done," which
But
is
he's not really doing anything anymore.
which is
Yeah,
which is
I love
his
this guy's like,
prerogative,
I'm going to stop
whatever.
doing. Well, it's what happened to Mr. Echo.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in Hawaii because I want other film roles. And he didn't do anything until G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's
That'd
Doctor Who is a show that it doesn't have a clearly defined. Doctor Who could get canceled and then come back in 10 years and pick up where it left off,
Right.
and everyone would be fine.
Which
Right.
I think is what Sebastian is doing for. Let me give you
Which
a
is
preview of my
same
reaction
thing
to
as,
the
as,
Doctor Who
as
thing.
Star Trek.
Yes.
This is me on the Doctor Who podcast.
Yeah, but I feel the same way, and I feel that way begrudgingly because it's like none of this is really interesting. You already did all of these plots in some form in your own show with season 5 and 6.
Right, which is why I would like to get your opinion on this new.
The reason why we're watching
two-parter.
Equestrian stuff.
Was that?
Because it was on.
Well, I mean, you can change the channel, right? We have Equestrian. Although that is pretty amazing.
So, anyways, we're going to wrap things up now because we've gone
now?
on 2 hours.
Yeah, give Ethan his mic back.
So, check us out, Facebook.com/Nerdibles. We're at Twitter
We're at Twitter?
We're at Twitter.
We're at Twitter. That's where we are right now. We are at Twitter.
We're
right
at
now.
Twitter on Nerdibles
Twitter
Show.
exists as a physical
on
space.
Twitter
and
at
that's where we
Nerdibles
are.
Show. So for Chris, Ethan, and Sebastian, I almost said Kalu stuff.
Yeah, I have to apologize to Rich. We've kept him from watching Guardians again for at least 20 minutes.
and Gotham. God, it got really quiet. So we'll see you guys next time.
We won't see people.
Well, we won't see them. They'll hear us next time.
Yeah, because it's like Gotham must be destroyed.
Gotham.
What is Bruce and Catwoman gonna do? Let them fight.
Let them fight.
Oh my God.